punk artists. Sounds
Yeah,
pretty
there's this
sweet.
guy on Facebook or YouTube that I watch. His name's Synth Punk. He's pretty funny.
He sounds hilarious. That that's an old Norm joke.
That sounds
Um,
hilarious.
no, what did he say? The Norm joke was uh oh, I'm not a huge fan of steampunk, but it is the most nutritious way to prepare punk.
Got it.
Thanks.
Ha ha.
Haha, it is Weekly Alaboom, the longest running weekly video YouTube show on YouTube ever. In all of the YouTubes, we are the longest. It is the March
You
26th, the
think
year of our
so?
Lord
I'd be
2025.
curious.
Like I said, there was one um I say you say it all the time, and it's like there was
I know, but we have
one.
to do fact check it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, no, I mean, hey, if I say it, it's true, right? No, there was the one there was the one Warhammer one. The guy did it forever. He didn't. He started. I think he started before us, but then he
Oh,
gave up. It
it's
was
been a lot
too
of
hard.
years.
It was too hard, so he gave up. So so I'll away with him, as they say.
This week is going by fast.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
don't know
not going
why. For
fast
some
enough for
reason,
me.
sometimes they go by fast and sometimes they go by slow.
I Mine is not going by fast. Mine has everything in the world going on and nothing in the world going on. Oh, let's get the for the people that watch this after the fact, and for the single digits that are watching live.
You get double
Uh
digits, man.
yeah, probably. Well, no, but right now
Oh
we have
yeah, right
single
now
digits.
there's three people. Me, you,
Yeah.
and Kabuki.
Well, no, we got Kip, we got
Oh, Kip Liggett.
Kabuki, and then oh wow, you harshed Kip Liggett. David Callahan will be here shortly. So, and he's a real
I know, I'm
person.
just messing around.
I know. Anyway, Champions Midgard, last 2 days. Even if you already own like all of the Champions of Midgard stuff, there's a $39 promo pack that has a bunch of promos. You know, and anybody who says, "Oh, I've got all the promos," no, you don't, because there was like a handful
There's
of
another
pro.
part that you don't have.
Well, no, there's a handful of promos that were for like the when this Spanish publisher reached out to us and said, "Hey, we want to make a Spanish version of Chance of Midgard," and they licensed it from us. And then they said, "Hey, we want to make our own promos for our game." And we said, "That's fine, but we get to make English versions of it." And they said, "Yeah, sure." And so there's like a handful of these Spanish promos that have never been released by us, ever. So there's that. And then, like I said, it's like it's every single promo that we published, including, and then we released a brand new one, and we got another one in the works that we're thinking about releasing as well. So for like $39, you get a packet of like 40 some promos for Champions of Midgard, and it'll be everything. So even if you're like, I don't want a collector's edition, which you're a fool, Harry Potter, if you don't want the collector's edition. But even that, or if you like say, promos aren't a big deal, but I have no friends, you can back for the solo mode. And the solo mode's pretty awesome. I could probably show that off. I could share my screen. I could load that up, just show how it works here in a little bit if I wanted to do that. But it's really tough too. It crushes you. I can't win.
It's
So
got an
I get
app.
well, I mean, you'll have to. It's I don't have an app for it.
Oh,
No.
is it cards?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cards.
okay. Sure.
So it's a solo game. And that and Next Level Miniatures launched Rounders Dice on Tuesday. And both of these are funded. So if you want some cool looking, sharp edged resin, hand polished dice with cool
And
mystery
polished.
magical potions on the inside. Well, yeah. So here's the cool thing about dice. When when you have the dice made, if you want to have that precision sharp edge to them, which is kind of a thing, so a lot of dice have the rounded edges, and so with those, when they're made, they just put them in a tumbler, and that like it's like a rock polisher basically,
Sure.
and it polishes it, so it rounds, so now when it polishes up the die and it rounds the edges, and then they pull them out, and then and so then they have, because all the dice, like if you go and buy like a Chessex thing of dice and they have the rounded edges, like you buy one of those tubes. At one point, those things had sharp edges, but they came out of the mold, all the numbers imprinted on it, the colors and everything they used to make it. But then they threw them into a tumbler to round the edges. Just and two, because when they come out of the mold, they're very, well, they don't look pretty. They aren't shiny. They have a very dull look to them. So they go into the tumbler to polish them up. And so then they come out all looking all shiny, but then you have the rounded edges.
So how do yours
So
get shiny without getting the rounded edges taken off of it?
because they're hand polished. I mean,
Really?
yeah. I mean, I'm not, no
I have a
lie,
hard time
man.
believing that.
It's just the
Hmm.
manufacturing thing.
So
It's
what, they
like
got people doing it? Like how many
they
people?
they have people doing it,
Is it a
and
room full of
it is a room, and
like
it is
Chinese
sadly Chinese manufacturing.
ladies?
Yes,
Like
yes,
I've
you
seen that
can.
room. We
Yeah,
had, yeah, the sewing room we had for bags when we were making bags.
yeah, and
Still
so I
make
mean,
bags,
and
but
it's
yeah,
just like,
there's
and
like
they
a
they basically they have a very very low grit
sandpaper.
sandpaper that's and they just polish each
Really?
side. Yeah.
I want some video of that if you can.
Well,
Can you get
if
video?
I'll try,
I'd love to
but
see it.
yeah, I mean,
So
I
when I saw the video of the ones we did for our bags, like, we started making bags and stuff,
mhm.
they're all wearing parkas.
I think it's because it's horrendously cold in there.
I know, but does the heat not work? Do they not have heat?
Well,
That's my
I
question.
don't want to be mean, but heat costs money,
Yeah, well,
and those manufacturing plants aren't interested in like things like central air. I mean, there's a reason why everything costs more to be made. I mean, we this is a larger
I
discussion,
fully
obviously.
understand this, Lance. I
Yeah,
know the cost of international trade.
yeah. I mean, it's a larger
Yeah,
discussion. I
but they don't
mean,
pay for the heat.
because they don't
They were
have
all
to.
wearing parkas.
Yeah.
Not really parkas, but like real like ski jackets. They weren't really
Yeah.
parkas.
Um,
Anyway,
no, I mean
where
that's
we live in, I
just
guess.
it's where we live in. Paul
We're
Tompkins
almost
is
up to
here.
double
Kip Lincoln's
digits,
here.
6 people
Cookie
there.
gets here. Yeah. So thank you all. But anyway, so
Well,
if you could
cool.
go to Rounders Dice on Kickstarter if you want a cool set of dice. They come in a cool tin. And you know what? I'll just show it off. I'll just show it off because you know what, man? I worked hard on getting
Worked
this
hard for the
stuff.
money.
I worked. This was an idea that I had a long time ago, and
Really?
yeah. I mean, I had this idea about a year or so ago, and it's the wheels move slowly when you are developing things. So, uh, anyway, so yeah, here you go.
Where's the tin?
Well, just give it a second. Here, look at this. I mean, I'm not gonna have the audio, but
You could share the audio.
I'm not gonna show the audio right now. But it's like, but we went with like this old school,
Yeah, it's like Stranger Things.
yeah, kind of these are obviously
Who did the
animated, not
video?
real. That would be Ryan Eiler.
Oh, there's the tin.
Yeah. Yeah. The
So we sell those dice.
You don't sell Rounders
No,
dice.
not Router's dice, but we sell liquid filled dice.
Yeah.
I guess that's the new hotness.
I don't know if it's the new hotness, but I mean they definitely look cool. I mean
Yeah, they're fun.
they first came out when here, let's go to the actual campaign page. So I mean, like this
Oh
art is
wow, look at that.
yeah,
It
yeah,
casts lightning bolt.
yeah. Now and so liquid filled. Each die is filled with a glittering magic potion guaranteed to maintain harmonic balance with the universe. This is not a real guarantee. Uh,
I
so
gotta go put that there.
you get a cool tin. These are the classic old colors of the old basic expert champions, masters, and immortal sets called better known as Beckme of D&D. So each one of those, and you can we have cool uh dice trays, foldable dice trays, and journals that you can get, with each one that has the art and everything on them. So I mean, yeah, we worked. I mean, I worked pretty hard with the like. I this was all my like art direction I gave for all of these things. I didn't do any of the art, of course, because I couldn't create anything to save my life. I can't draw a stick figure, but I like the Dark Sorcery one. I like that, and I like those dice too. I think those are pretty sweet.
Did Ryan do all the art?
Well, no, we had an artist, and then Ryan did a lot of the like basically getting it over the hump. To like he worked his magic. I'll just say that.
I was looking at
With
the red. He had the red dragon. He was working on the red dragon one yesterday. I was in his office, and
yeah.
holy shit, it looks really good.
Well, the Red Dragon. I mean, just truth be told, Ryan did like all of that. That was his
Yeah,
drawing and everything like that. The other ones we hired an artist, and then he did a pretty good job, and then Ryan kind of got him over the side. But anyway, so yeah, you can add on this oversized D20. Let me there's a these are the actual prototypes that we made in store. So that's pretty cool looking D20, I have to say. All the glittery, shiny stuff. These are actual pictures of the dice we made in St. Louis, just monkeying around. Those are actual pictures of actual dice that we're working with our manufacturer to make those. So there you go, some cool looking dice. It's already funded. You want dice that the whole point is that they're all round. The D4 is a D12, the D6s are D30s. D8s are D24s, D12s are D24s, and then the 10-sideds are D20s. So, and then we highlight each top number so you'll be able to look and be able to tell exactly what they are at a glance. So, dice of a kind that you've never had before. So,
very nice.
go give me some money for dice.
I'm gonna order a red set
There you go.
because red
Well,
is.
but $39 for one set. I mean, you're just throwing your money away. You could get two sets for $74. And then if you're gonna get two sets for $74, why
You might as
wouldn't
well
you
get
get
all
three?
five. It
I
makes
Why
was
sense.
gonna
wouldn't you
get
get
all
all three
five.
for 99?
I was gonna get all five
Then do it.
for
$500.
No,
no.
five tins is 140 bucks, and you can pick whatever colors you want.
So
So,
it's, but I was gonna give a set to each one of my group for Christmas,
mhm.
but I'm not that rich.
But then you decided you didn't like them.
Well,
So,
no, I liked them a lot.
no,
Oh, you mean the guys? Yeah, I don't like them that much.
yeah.
Hey,
How was the
I
pinball show, Scott?
fantastic.
Awesome.
Have you guys seen this book?
No.
It's a
The
ouch. Just gave
Pinball
myself a paper
Wizard.
cut.
Ow.
A
Oh,
graphic
sorry.
history of the silver ball. It's basically a graphic novel of pinball.
Oh,
Well, it's like the
neat.
story of pinball. Very cool. No,
Very cool.
it was great. I'm whipped though, man. Pinball shows are very challenging to, I mean, because they're not like board games. You don't sit down, you stand the whole time. I stood, so I'm doing good this year. Last year I could barely make it through. Like I left early. We left on Sunday, and the Sunday I didn't even go in. So this year I was all good though. Made it through. I stood 4 straight hours, like 9 o'clock to like 2 a.m. when we were playing. Is that
Nice.
4 hours? That's like five
Yep.
hours. 5 hours of
5.
standing straight, no break. Yeah, because we were just waiting in line for everything.
You're a
Love the
machine.
lines. I was. It was making. It was good times. Um.
I stood for a whole half an hour waiting for Giselle to come out of the come home from the airport or to land.
Waiting for like a pickup. Yeah. Why were you standing?
Because
The musical chairs.
there's not really a lot of benches in the
Yeah, I
where
love that they don't give you enough stuff to.
yeah.
Game of the show, Evil Dead.
Is it new?
It is new. So there was like 5 new machines. There was D&D, which is
Uh-huh.
very good. Believe me, that I think that would have been game of the show if it didn't come out 2 months earlier. Right? It came out a
Um,
couple months ago. Um, Evil Dead, first time to be played at a show, it was there. My God, it was so good. I
I
almost bought one.
I was talking
Uh,
to Marshall, and he wasn't very fussy over the D&D one.
the D&D one is all right, but it needs work. It needs some more code. Like it's
His
fun, but it
his
doesn't.
his big
Yeah,
gripe was the multi-ball.
too much multi-ball.
No, the way that multi-ball finishes, you do it for a certain amount of time, and then your flippers stop working, and they just all drain, and then you can start again.
That means you lost. It's a challenge. You have to beat the dragon.
But I
It's
guess
a combat. Like the multi-ball is a combat against the dragon. If he drains more balls than you hit him, you lose, and the balls all drain.
oh, because he was saying that uh with a regular multi-ball, you just keep losing them until you keep using them until they just naturally miss.
Correct. But this is a challenge against the dragon. You have to beat the dragon to keep the multi-ball. Like if you beat the dragon, you're in multi-ball. It's called Talon Celebration, and the
Oh,
fireworks go
until
off.
they're gone.
Yeah. So if you lose against the dragon, meaning he drains more balls than you hit him, you lose, and you lose the multi-ball. So it's not easy. I mean, it is easy, but you have to hit the dragon. But if you don't know that, you don't. If you're just playing multi-ball and like you're just flipping like mad and not aiming for the dragon, you will lose
I
because it
get
shoots out
you.
8 balls, which is
It's a
crazy.
lot.
It's a lot. Most multi-balls are 3.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know how much the Evil Dead table is. I probably want to say 12 all in, $12,000, something like that.
That's like $20,000 Canadian.
Yeah, they're expensive. They're not cheap.
Jesus,
The new
Murphy.
ones anyway. The topper, my, I gotta show you guys some of the. Did I show you the pictures?
What's the
Let me show you
topper?
some pictures.
These days look good though, Lance.
I like them.
It was your idea to make round ones like that?
Yeah, that was just like an idea that like rolled around in my brain. I saw some old D20s that were just numbered uh like old school, just 1 through 0, or
Yeah.
0 through 9, and like that's how you used to roll. And you used to color in half of them, and you just manually would say add 10 to that, because back in the
Hmm.
day your 20 sides didn't even have, they didn't have a 10, 11, 12, whatever, right? So you just have to like color in the other side, so you could represent that.
Very cool.
And so I was just like, wouldn't it be cool if all of them were round? And like, why couldn't you make all of them round?
Can
So
you guys see this?
Yeah.
So this
yeah.
topper is ridiculous. It opens and closes. Like this lady in here like goes up and down, and it's like an animatronic. It's sick.
Oh,
It's like
that's why it's
so
twelve thousand
disgusting.
dollars.
Well, that's part. Yeah, I think you can get a cheaper one where it's like that is just a piece of plastic. Um, but this is the game. I mean, it's so like there's a shotgun. Like, see the shotgun shells there?
Oh
The
yeah.
the hand goes back side to side. There's like a little play field underneath. The tape recorder playing the incantation or whatever. Like summon the demons. And then all the call outs are Bruce Campbell. Like he's calling out. They recorded like 1,000 lines of dialogue just for the game,
Holy
just for
cow.
this game. Yeah, it's a spectacular game actually. That was a good one.
That's
But
cool.
here's the welcome back Texas Pinball 2025. I got who's this guy? Would have bombed us. Here's Nikki playing. It's a wide body, so you can see her arms are like like it's not really that big, but it kind of looks that way with this wide angle lens. Let's see if I got something. I took a lot of selfies at the show. Got to play the new Metallica. It's really fun. I like it.
They're like
It's
zombies.
awesome. It's a remastered version of the Metallica that came out like 10 years ago. Michelle liked it too. She was playing. It's fun.
Are all new pinball machines pretty much have an LCD or an LCD screen?
Yeah, most of them do. Um, yeah, most new ones do. Yeah,
They don't
this
do
is
like
this is a
just the
classic
numbers
actually. This is
anymore.
a what's that?
They don't do just the numbers anymore.
Some there are a couple versions like that, but they're few and far between. Like the Pulp Fiction is actually has that has just numbers.
They try to go like, is that like a retro thing?
Yeah, it's like a retro. There was this game called Merlin's Arcade, which was pretty fun. It was like
Oh,
this
that's
is like an
cool.
entry level kind of game. I don't know what the price is on this thing. It was probably sub
Oh,
10,000.
they got a lot of neat stuff in there.
Yeah, but this is all it's really I like this one. It's kind of reminds me like Dragon's Lair a little bit, the
Yeah,
artwork.
totally. It's very
Yeah, like a
Don
Don
Bluth-y.
Bluth
Yeah, very
looking.
down Bluth.
But the concept of this one is every night is a different challenge. Like there's dart and it's like arcade. You're in arcade. See that spinner there? It's like a foosball table guy.
Man, is it's such a different world now, eh? Remember pinball when they first went like before they had such a deep play field?
Some of them barely had well, no, they were more like flat and
They
not
were like it's like this much
yeah,
the
yeah. The
whole
old ones were very
and then
shallow.
and then you have these ones that have like,
Oh yeah,
full
you're like almost
friggin'
a foot deep.
dioramas in them.
Yeah, see this like giant guy back here. Like there's like a little gelatinous cube here. This was yeah, it's pretty fun. Like it only has one ramp, couple poppers. See, there's an arcade. It's like you're like it's called Merlin's Arcade, right? So it's like
Neat.
everything's an arcade game, which is cool. Got some pictures with some content creators, pinball content creators,
Why can't gelatinous cubes lie?
because they jiggle. I don't know.
Because you can see right through them.
Ah,
Bah,
they
bah.
redid the artwork for the Big Lebowski. Like
Okay.
it's a one of one 25th anniversary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like a really cool art piece. Can't buy that one.
I heard
Um,
heard some disturbing news today about an artist, Drew Struzan, and got diagnosed with dementia.
oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
That does suck.
They had this black and white Adams Family that was like playable. Like normally when people do the black and white ones, they never allow them, they never let people play them.
Why?
I don't know. They want because they want to sell it for like 20,000.
Oh, okay.
You know, so they don't want anybody to play it. But we were able to play it.
So did somebody buy an Adams Family machine that kind of one off it, or?
Yeah, you basically convert it like because the whole play field is black and white. Everything in the game is black and white. Like normally the game is color, right? There's lots of color. Like all the graphics are converted to black and white.
Okay.
Um, you know, all the LCD or LED lights are black and white, you know, white. So it takes some work. I can see why you would want to like let everybody play it. And then you know, the back glass is black converted to black and white. The toppers converted to black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. Um, I took a picture of this one because I had never seen this one before. Look at this. This is an old one. So you can see how shallow it is.
Future
Yeah.
Spa.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of this one? Look at this. Look at this thing. It's so
I have absolutely
ridiculous.
heard of that before.
It's so ridiculous. Look at this. Your skin laps.
It's
Stop
very
laughing at
Jack
it.
Kirby.
Yeah.
Josh Kirby. Sorry.
They're releasing Medieval Madness again. So it's another version. New version coming out.
Never heard of it.
Oh, that's
It's
a
one of the
great
greatest
game.
games of all time. This is the guy that sells shooter rods. Like he has like this whole wall of shooter rods. I almost bought the disco ball for and there's a D&D. It's an eyeball inside of a D&D, like a
Oh,
D20.
cool.
Yeah. What else we got here? There was a Pulp Fiction topper, like custom, called the Double Tap. See the ball rolling around? I don't know if you caught that. The ball, like a little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it.
It's pretty cool. Only $1,500. $1,500.
That's cheap.
Only. Well,
We went to Perry. You know that place called Perry's? Perry's like steakhouse.
Yeah.
We had this is what I had for dinner. This is
Oh my gosh,
the
that's
pork
amazing.
chop. Yeah, I ate like one rib. It was such a waste.
How much for one rib?
Do you guys know who Steve Ritchie is?
No.
He's the voice of Mortal Kombat. I think he's most famously known for like finish him. You know that voice?
Okay.
But he's a pinball guy. He's pretty famous. He did the Black Knight and Flash and Terminator 2 and like a bunch of great pinball. Star Trek. This is Dwight Sullivan. He's the coder of D&D.
I met Dwight.
Yeah, you met him. There was a Mad Max homebrew, like some guy made a version of it, like basically a homebrew. It was really good, and the art is amazing. I don't know if I can zoom in on it. See the art? It's
Oh
so
yeah.
so great. Like it's so much work for this stuff. He was standing there the whole time watching us like a hawk. Like he was like checking, basically seeing if it was gonna break, I think. Because these things are kind of like finicky. Yeah. And they put us, there's an LCD screen.
Very cool.
Let's see here. There's me and Moto, another content creator. What is this one? Oh, this is a Greatest Showman. Do you remember the game Whirlwind? Like the playfield has the spinning wheels on it.
No.
So they converted this to the movie The Greatest Showman, and it's amazing. Look at this thing. Look at that.
The only pinball machine I really have a clear picture of in my head is the TNG one.
Next gen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lady standing here basically coded it. She learned how to code like last year, and
Wow.
we played it, and it's really good. We had a lot of fun with this. Oh, here's the black and white um Addams Family being played. Really cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what else I got here. Oh, this is the guy who won the Guinness Book of World Records for the biggest pinball collection. Not me.
You're second though, right?
Yeah,
Humble
second.
brag.
Yeah. No, he had. So it's a place in Ohio. I think there's like 500 machines in a building. It's like a grocery store. It's like in Girardi. I'm not sure the name of the place. I think it's like Fun in Arcades or something like that. I'm guessing this young lady was paid for putting the logo for the Portal game on her hair. This
Oh,
is the
that's her natural hair.
Yeah. I remember her from last year. She's very memorable. There was a Portal pinball game that just got announced. That was one of the 5 new ones.
Very
And
neat.
this is built on the P3 system, which is a modular pinball game where you replace the back third of the playfield. The rest of it stays the same. So you just swap out. And then this is all magnetic. All these pieces of the table are magnetic to change the art and stuff. Like this is people playing Portal. I had fun with Portal. It didn't feel like Portal though. I mean, it was good, but it was like I couldn't tell that was my and I couldn't tell that my balls were like disappearing and reappearing in places, I saw this game. I never had seen this one. It's a head-to-head soccer game, like pinball soccer. Pretty cool. What else we got here? This is George Gomez. He's basically the uh chief of technology at Stern, and he did the Deadpool game and Batman 66 and all kinds of stuff. 007. This is Dwight Sullivan teaching us Star Wars. Like we sometimes you just got to play with the designer or the coder, and I learned so much that you don't get from playing pinball just regularly. Like he's like, "Oh, you got to do this." I'm like, "What? I didn't know that." Like there's no manual for these things sometimes, right?
Well,
Anyway.
it's like you gotta explore it
Yeah, you got
and
to
figure
explore
it
it.
out.
Here's Pulp Fiction. So this is a new game, Matt, but it's got the retro look of the
Mm-hmm.
playfield. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just the numbers. See if this actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Very cool.
Yeah, no screen here. Just this. See if we got Big Kahuna, pawn shop, the gun, the watch. Yeah, all that stuff. There's Vincent in the back with the briefcase. Jules on the left. All right.
I saw
Oh,
somebody.
yeah, I think that's
Right.
about it. That's about it.
It was a good time.
That was a good time. I had a good time.
I have good
Completely
time.
exhausted.
Yeah, cool. Looks like you had a really good time.
Oh man, it was great.
Yeah.
And I got to meet a lot of the people. Like, just gotta say hello.
You
Tons of
got to,
designers. When we went to a few of the talks. They have seminars too. Like to sit down for a minute, you have to I went to the seminars. So we went to the Avatar seminar and like the designer is very nice. And at the end of the talk, the owner of Jersey Jack, or he's not the owner anymore, but he's like basically the face of Jersey Jack, the guy's named Jack Guinari. He soft announced Harry Potter. And so we were like, and the mic was muffled. So I all I heard was like, well, we know the next game is going to be Harry Potter. And I'm like, I go, Lincoln, did he just say Harry Potter? And then the crowd goes like, because nobody could hear what he said, right? Like apparently Harry Potter was like, and so the day afterwards, I'm on the internet, right? I'm on my Facebook, and people are like, "Man, the Texas crowd is so lame. They barely clapped at all for Harry Potter." And I'm like, "We didn't know what he was saying."
Even if you did know what he was saying, is Harry Potter still a thing?
Oh,
it's
Harry
still
Potter's
a billion
massive.
dollar
It'll be
industry.
one of the biggest pinball games of all time. Yeah, I mean it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar property.
I mean, Rowling's a
Even though,
horrible
yeah,
human being, but
of
you know,
course, but that won't stop people from getting the Harry
I
Potter.
guess they wouldn't be doing a whole reboot on Netflix or whatever without
No, Harry
it
Potter is a
still
big deal.
being popular.
Anyway, so we went to that Avatar. We went to the D&D talk. We went to the Evil Dead talk, and do you guys remember Ben Heck, the
yes,
the YouTuber?
yes.
He's part of the spooky pinball that made the Evil Dead.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he's still making stuff.
I don't know who Ben Heck is though.
He was a maker, a
Oh
YouTuber
heck,
maker. So he would like do like crazy electronics projects and like video to record it all, like YouTube it.
I'm trying to find somebody that will actually I'm probably just gonna end up doing it myself. You know those art pieces where people take a Game Boy and they disassemble it and they just kind of mount everything to a board and it's all disassembled and then they sell it like that as a piece of art.
Yeah,
I want to do that with a guitar pedal, but
guitar pedal.
people
What's
want
inside
to
a guitar
charge me
pedal?
like 450 bucks to do it.
Yeah, I mean guitar pedals themselves are like $500, right?
No, I have to supply the pedal.
Oh, you have to supply the pedal and give them 500?
Yeah,
What pedal
you
would
gotta
you use?
supply your own knobs.
I would
Which
probably
pedal?
do a Boss DS1, which is distortion pedal.
The distortion. Yeah.
And I can pick one up. Even if I found a broken one for 50 bucks.
Yeah. But are the inside of the pedals like anything? Like there's just
The
like an
circuit
electronics
board,
pedal.
couple of potentiometers,
Okay. Yeah.
and
So will it look cool?
the graphics and yeah, I think it will. It won't be a
Okay.
huge board. I mean, yeah, like
I just don't know. I know the inside of the pedals are like just
they're pretty
a
simple.
circuit
Yeah,
board. Yeah, they're really simple. I mean, I know they are massive. Like some of the pedals I bought are like not cheap. I got a few reverb pedals that are just like
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I think it'd be fun. Be a neat little thing.
Yeah, cool.
Fun little project.
Anyway, if anybody's into pinball, I recommend this book. It's pretty cool. Like
Pinball.
it's
What's
just
it
the
called?
history of pinball.
Very cool.
And it's a graphic novel. I said that already. All right, I'm
Yep.
done.
Yeah.
Hey Lance, can I shill my Kickstarter?
Something about art or
Is it
something.
on? Is it up already?
It's not up, but the follow page is up.
You can
You
show
should go
whatever you
search for
want.
it. Yeah, so the Board Game Geek Art Print Series 10 going live April 6th.
How many
I
posters?
should know the date. What's up?
How many posters?
It's 4 new ones, but you could buy all of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 10 series. It's 40 different prints. You can
I
mix and
finally
match
went
what you
to
want.
IKEA last night to pick up frames for my posters.
Cool.
I have to cut the mats,
Which
but
ones did you get?
Tichu,
Teach so
um,
good.
apparently I got 2 copies of Tichu, but I guess I'll just put one here. I don't know. I must have ordered 2
Oh, did you order it too?
by mistake.
Oh, you can
Um,
give one away.
yeah, I could do that too, actually. Oh, I have some news actually in a minute, but Tichu, King of Tokyo, which I really like, Race for the Galaxy, and what was the other
That's a
one?
good one.
Galaxy Trucker.
Oh, did you get fast food franchise?
No, I didn't.
Or not fast food,
Food chain
food chain
magnet.
magnet. Food chain
No, I
magnet.
didn't. I got the
Not
Galaxy
food.
Trucker one
Fast food
instead.
franchise.
I got the other Quanchai one. So my news is um I'm probably gonna be with some friends organizing a con
Oh, now I know you're lying.
here in Ottawa. So
Well,
there's
that'll be fun. Why is it gotta be in Canada? I don't have to go to Canada to go to a con.
land of the free, home
You
of
may
the. Oh,
not be
that's
able
right.
to
That's
get
not
back
here.
in.
What's that?
You may not be able to get back into the country, Lance, if you leave.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I had one of my American friends yesterday said to me, "What does elbows up mean?"
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
So it's this thing that we're saying now that has taken off in Canada, right? Because um, Mike Myers on Saturday Night Live at
Yeah.
the end of the thing had a Canada's not for sale shirt on, and he's like elbows up. It's a hockey
The
thing,
hockey
right?
thing, right?
Yeah. Gordie
That's the
Howe.
ref getting out of the way for or something like that.
No, it's like basically going into the corners with your elbows up and checking somebody, right?
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
Gordie Howe's nickname is Mr. Elbows,
So you can throw an elbow? Is that like
pretty much.
because you're not are you allowed to punch?
Well, no,
They punch all the time.
they do,
So you
but
can elbow. All right.
like the
I don't
one
know the rule.
hockey.
I don't know the rules for hockey. Like sometimes they just get into fights and nothing ever happens from like nothing ever comes of it.
The last game I went to, the last NHL game I went to was here against Montreal, and there was a bench clearing brawl, fucking yard sale.
Yes. Um
Hmm.
it's it's one of those things where nobody's exactly sure why. I mean, they've never gotten rid of it. I mean, obviously it's because the fans like it, right? As far as like how the fighting goes or whatever. Um, but it's one of those things where it's like you can. I mean, famously, I mean, it's if you got your star player and your star player gets hurt, the guy who hurt him, he's got to take some lumps. That's
That's the rules.
them's
Them's the
them's the
rules.
rules. There's a pretty famous. You can Google it, but when Gretzky, and I think he was playing for the Kings after he left Edmonton, and he somebody kind of came from behind and cheap shot at his knee, and he ended up he was going to miss time because like of the injury, and so then like then the guy who did it got a penalty or 5 minute major or whatever, and he went in the penalty box, and then like as soon as it got to like 4 minutes and 50 seconds and he's going to be out of the box, like the LA put their giant 6'5" goon on on the ice, and as soon as that guy came out, the guy just a beeline right towards him. It was already throwing the gloves down, just like,
Yeah.
and then just haymakers aplenty,
Huh.
just because that's what she do. Andy Van Zant, my former TMGer, and now the guy who's the bigwig over at Trick or Treat Studios wants to know: have you ever considered making horizontal poster designs so you could turn those into play mats as well?
Hmm. Good idea.
That is a good
I have
question.
not thought of that.
Andy, if he ever makes horizontal play mats, you get 5%.
Yeah, talk about hockey for a
I
second.
don't think we'll ever make them. But I mean, I talked about making playmats, but do people really need playmats? I mean, I have like
So
literally 100 playmats that I don't use.
here's what I would buy. So on
Well,
my
that's why you got to back Champions at Midgard Collector's Anniversary
Yeah, I know.
Edition,
So we got
because the
another
play
playmat to
mat.
add to the pile. By the
No,
way, I
no,
took an
hey,
IKEA
hey,
bag.
time out, time out, time out. Let me tell you,
Is your mic working?
the playmat
Something? Your
Yeah,
fits.
mic,
you
your
guys
mic
just
is.
talk too much.
The playmat fits in the box. It fits in the box. So like when you play,
Oh,
you
so
can
you can. That's good. Yeah,
the
that's great.
playmat. It doesn't even come with a board. It just comes with a double stitched, double sided with classic art on one side, brand new art on the other, playmat inside the box that fits inside the box, which will still fit in a Calyx cube, mind you.
I would buy
Thank
a
God.
desk mat in a heartbeat with art on it, like one of the board game arts. So
My
I have On my desk
yeah,
here and at
desk
work,
mat.
I have like a 40 by 14-inch desk mat, neoprene,
Okay.
double
Yeah, maybe
stitched.
maybe I'll talk about making those. We've sort of stayed away from it because it's a lot of space and heaviness.
Yeah, it is for
You
sure.
know, like
I
Commercial.
I
just
mean,
all I'm
the
saying,
posters don't take up any space at all.
No, 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 no.
Not
all I'm
posters,
saying.
art prints. They're not posters.
Yeah, they're Jiggly prints.
They're definitely prints. I mean, they're high quality. The
Yeah,
G
Jiggly's
Clay
good.
prints on archival paper. They're nice.
Yes.
Glad your mic is not working right.
Acid-free paper. Um,
Your mic
Yeah.
isn't working right.
Oh, now it's working. Did you
I didn't
change?
change anything.
Then maybe I can hear you now.
yeah,
I
I've been
felt like you
hearing
were
them the
like
whole
I felt like
time.
you were in the other room.
You're in the other room.
No, it's definitely changed.
Okay,
Uh,
settle down there.
the my desk that I made,
He changed.
my playmat, sadly, is because I sold the game and then I discovered this. The mat on my thing is the 878 Vikings playmat,
Yeah.
whatever, from
See,
Academy.
I've got
double-sided
a
playmats.
universe playmat. I have like the Cloud Nebula, like Crab Nebula playmat. Or desk.
Yeah,
I've actually thrown one away. I couldn't get it clean.
yeah. I'll have to
I've
order
like
another
spilled too
one.
many things on it. It looked grimy and dirty. Just throwing it away.
The one I have at work has started to pill,
Oh,
so I
really?
have
Oh,
to get a
yeah.
new one. And they're like $40 too, which
Yeah,
sucks.
I wonder if with tariffs, what that will cost.
Yeah, I don't know.
$1 million.
Um,
So I took it, those IKEA bags, those
yeah, the
giant
blue
blue
ones.
IKEA bags.
Yeah,
I rolled up like all my playmats, and I'm not even done filling them up. It weighs 50 pounds. I weighed it because I have like a luggage scale. It's 50 pounds of playmats in an IKEA bag. It's unreal.
I hang my playmats on the hangers with the little clips.
Yeah,
That's how you
that's
do it, baby.
that's a good idea.
It's either that or you have to go to a like a thrift store or something and find an old
Towel rack or something.
quilt hanger, like an
Well,
Yeah,
old like a quilt hanger,
yeah, I don't think I want that. I'm good. I'm fine with putting them in a bag.
or in the case of Champions of Midgard, it just stays in the box for you, baby.
Those are the
Collect
best.
10th anniversary collector's
Because
edition.
then you can't not play like Oath. The boards in the box. It's a playmat. It's fine.
Yeah.
I like where playmats can go in the box, but rolled properly, not just folded and weirdly. Like I think there was something I recently got that had a playmat that was just like,
Oh
and
yeah,
you had to
some of
like
them
fold it over the sides. Like it's dumb.
when you fold them,
Yeah,
they get
they
wrinkled
get
and stuff
yeah
too.
they get bent.
Get bent.
get bent.
Mhm.
So I was watching this thing one time recently, and it's this there was this ex-hockey player that was talking about he was on a team with Brett Hull, and
Is this a hockey thing?
it is a hockey thing, but it was just because we were talking about hockey before.
Sure.
And he was saying, do you guys know who Joe Sakic is?
Yep.
So he was like a big player back in the 90s. Um, and
And who Bobby Orr is?
so Brett Hull and this guy who's talking who's relating the story is known for how much trash talk he does. And so Joe Sakic is on the ice, and both Brett Hull and this guy are on the bench, and this guy's kind of like bad trash talking Joe Sakic, and he gets up off the bench and he starts like leaning over the boards to do it too, and then all of a sudden he feels his jersey yanked right back to the bench, and Brett turns to him and says, "We do not speak to Mr. Sakic that way."
Hmm.
See,
For a player on the other team to say that in reverence, it's like that. Yep, that makes total sense.
Got it. Oh man.
this
I didn't notice, but I crossed 4 million users today.
Oh, a little humble
I'm another
brag.
humble brag.
A little
I have to
humble
mention.
brag.
I mean,
Oh
if I
wow!
can't do it here, where can I do it?
Wow! I just can't believe it,
I need to
guys.
take
I
a
just
picture.
happened to notice.
No,
The
I thought it would be another couple weeks because of the way it was going. I'll take a picture now.
Jeez, guys, I don't know
They're all
what
spam
happened.
accounts.
Probably created by you.
108, 4 billion
4 million.
million.
4 billion.
That's
Even
okay.
I would be impressed there.
We did 2 billion pages views last year. All right, I'm gonna stop talking now.
What?
Lance to make me feel like I'm bragging.
Well, you are bragging.
I have to, otherwise, where do I go? I have no other outlet for this stuff.
Sure you do. You can go tell your wife. I'm sure she'd love to hear
Thanks, Lance.
it.
So I read the whole account from that actress, that Canadian actress that got detained for 2 weeks
Oh yeah.
by ICE.
Oh wow. I didn't know. I didn't know she was a Canadian actress.
She was on American Pie. So one of the sequels, American Pie 3, I think.
Well, the
There was
best,
there
so
was an
the
American
best
Pie
one.
3.
Yeah, right.
I never
So
knew.
she grew up in Whitehorse. She moved to BC. She spent a lot of time in the States working as an actress. She happened to be in Mexico when her visa to work in the States expired, and she was at the border, still on the Mexico side, trying to get at the U.S. border, saying, "I'd like to renew my visa," and they're like, "Come with me, please." And they basically detained her for 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks. 2 weeks only because of the stink that media and family and
Started
lawyers.
putting on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And she says multiple times, if I didn't, I can only imagine, like, I feel I am very privileged and I was able to do all of this. There are people there that have been there for months.
Yeah, it's unreal.
I just, the audacity for them to just, and she's like, listen, I'll pay for my own flight home then. I'll fly directly home to Canada. I don't need to come into the States. And they're like, no, you've already tried this one time. You're gonna so and then what ended up happening is she got released, and now she has a 5-year ban on coming into the US.
Wow.
It's just it defies logic. It really does.
Well, I mean, we 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 live in an insano, bizarro world right now. So I just
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys have Signal on your phones?
no.
Oh, I do.
Why would
Just in
I?
case you get
I
copied
mean,
on something.
no, I mean, I never thought it was a thing to use for like planning bombings or
One
that.
of
Like,
those
yeah, like
classified
you're
orders
planning
coming in.
a bombing thing. Like you gotta use your Signal app, like on your iPhone.
I
Seems
didn't even
so
know what it was
secure.
until the story came out.
It's not that secure. If you take my phone, you can get into my Signal account, right? Like it's so not secure.
I
It's
mean,
unreal. We're
I
living
mean,
in really weird times, man. I gotta say, it's like a
well, and it's just like, I mean, I didn't even know Signal was a thing until like
you
this
didn't know
thing.
it. Yeah.
I was just like, last time I checked, my text messaging works just fine. So, but
Thank you for the kind words, Kabuki and Paul.
listen to him smooching. Just, we love you, Aldi. Mm.
I went to IKEA last night to and she's always still away in Moncton, so I went to go to IKEA to get the frames, and I'm like, okay,
Oh yeah, you got the IKEA frames?
yeah,
Oh cool. Yeah, they're good,
the
right?
yeah, I still have to cut the
If they're
frame.
not broken. I have a couple that are broken.
Oh
Well,
no.
I have to redo
Luckily,
it.
IKEA is 5 minutes from my house, so it's Super
That's
easy.
nice.
But I still have to cut the mats because they're not tall enough. But I have a mat cutter, so. But anyways, uh, went to IKEA last night, and my goal was to get the frames and not because I hadn't eaten dinner yet. It was like 7:30, and not stop at the thing for a hot dog dinner. That was my goal. I was able to achieve my goal. However, I immediately failed right after when I called ahead to the pizza place to place my order for a small pizza to pick up on the way home. So,
Yeah, this sounds like a nightmare.
What's your go-to pizza?
combination with green olives.
Ooh,
What's a combination?
Um, pepperoni, green pepper, mushroom.
interesting. You like the green olive, huh? I probably would like them too.
They're
I like
tangy.
black olives.
They're tangy. I like the way I like them because they're
You like the
tangy.
way they are? Yeah.
What's yours, Lance?
Well, it depends on where I'm getting my pizza from. I mean,
What do you want on your tombstone?
yeah, that's classic
Uh,
commercials. I mean, it's like depending upon where I get a pizza, where I purchase my pizza, I'll get a certain kind of pizza. Um, do you remember Godfather's Pizza?
yeah. Yeah, the guy who ran for president, right? What was that guy's name?
I don't know.
Godfather Pizza.
Um,
Yeah.
like
It was like a
we
buffet,
don't.
right? You could do a buffet. Like
Well,
it had
I mean, they it didn't for the longest time. Like, I mean, there were for some of them, but I mean, like for the longest time, there wasn't it. We used to have one. We used to have a couple in
Herman
town here, and now we don't have them anymore.
Herman
But
Cain. He was the president of Godfather's Pizza.
no, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No,
Herman Cain.
are you?
You
I
don't remember
mean,
this?
I heard you the first time, but I'm just telling you
You don't
that I
remember
don't.
this?
I don't. I
Okay,
don't.
well, Google it. That's why
I
I
mean,
remember Godfather's Pizza because he was like the presidential candidate and he died of COVID. He got COVID at like at a rally for someone and died
hmm.
from the COVID.
Well, okay. You say COVID again. I mean, I just.
I don't know. It's just one of those stories. It was just odd. I'm like, because I like Godfather's Pizza. Anyway,
All
whatever.
right,
I
let's
don't want
see
to keep
here.
talking about
Herman
politics though.
Cain, he joined the Pillsbury Company, where he later became the vice president. He was a business executive at Burger King, prompted Pillsbury to appoint him as chairman and CEO of something called Godfather's Pizza.
Oh yeah, imagine that. What do I regret it? Yeah, I mean, I like the buffet. Godfather's Pizza had a pretty good buffet. We had one in
Pat,
Gainesville, Florida,
and he worked,
but I've never
yeah.
seen one anywhere else in my life.
Um,
Is it still around?
yeah, I mean they still have tons of locations. Uh,
Excuse me.
yeah, let's see here. What does it say? He opposed wearing face masks and social distancing during the COVID-19 pandemic. He attended Donald Trump rally in Tulsa and was photographed not wearing a mask in a crowd of people also not wearing masks. On June 29th, he tested positive for COVID. He was admitted to hospital in Atlanta 2 days later. Staff there was no way of knowing for sure how or where he became infected.
No way of
Various people
knowing,
will
huh?
speculate about the Tulsa rally, but Herman did a lot of traveling that week, including to Arizona, where cases were spiking. He died of COVID-19 complications at the hospital at the age of 74.
They've kept that pretty hush hush. The fact that you don't remember that.
His death from COVID-19 following his refusal to protect himself from it led to the creation of the Herman Cain Awards subreddit, where users shared news stories about people who died from COVID-19 after downplaying its deadliness or expressing doubts about the efficacy of precautions against it.
Oh, they named an award after him, like a memorial kind of thing.
Like Reddit made a joke thing, like
Right.
saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
here's another person who said that it isn't real," and they die of it. 1 month after his death, his official Twitter account, which had come under the control of his team and family members, posted that it looks like the virus is not as deadly as the mainstream
That
media
was the
first
last
made it out
post.
to be, sparking a discussion about Twitter policies for deceased account holders. In a 2023 memoir, Enough, former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson noted that Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, reacted to Kane's passing, remarking, "We killed Herman Cain," in reference to the 2020 Tulsa rally. Just another footnote.
Oh, good old times, huh? Don't you wish 5 years ago?
Yeah. Anyway,
around.
going back to the whole thing about Godfathers. Their hot stuff pizza was really, really good.
What
It
was
was
on it?
What was on it?
it was spicy pepperoni, spicy tomato sauce, pepperoni, spicy beef, spicy Italian sausage, jalapeno peppers, onions, and mozzarella cheese, and it was very good.
I'd have a slice of that, but that's a lot.
That seems like a indigestion to happen.
That was a very good
I'm pretty
Heartburn.
pedestrian when it comes to my pizza choices.
The now that we have Happy Joe's again in town, the taco pizza is to die for. It's so good.
Where to go?
Well, they closed the Happy Joe's that was in town closed, and we didn't have one for like 2 years. Then we just finally got one back. It's just takeout only though. It's a takeout only location. But so the taco pizza is really good from there. Very tasty. Very expensive too. It's like a pizza is like $30. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But it's really good. Um there's
There are no Godfather's pizzas in Dallas. It's like the closest one is 21 miles away.
yeah, lucky stupid Kevin Burkhartsmeyer gets to have one in his hometown. Fergus Falls has a Godfather's. I don't have one, but he gets one. That's bullshit.
Do
I
they
think we
still-
all fucking hate Fergus Falls.
Actually, Fergus Falls is a pretty cool town, actually.
Well, I hate it.
Okay.
Always will.
But yeah, no, it's so but if I'm gonna make my own pizza, like I'll make a breakfast pizza. I like breakfast pizza. That's pretty
I've
good.
never had a breakfast pizza. What's on
So
it?
it's
Connor,
basically
really?
so you got to put cheese whiz for the sauce.
Cheese whiz.
Yeah, you put cheese whiz for the sauce.
You can use white gravy. I like white
Yeah,
gravy.
you can use
too.
white gravy too, but I like cheese whiz. Cheese whiz for the sauce,
Mix them
and
both.
then you put bacon bits. You kind of make an omelet. You put bacon bits, you put green peppers, you put onions, you put mushrooms.
Crumble up some egg.
Crumble up some egg. That's the other thing too. Like basically you take all those ingredients that I just mentioned and you take like 2 eggs and you stir it all together and then you scramble it, do a hot scramble, like super fast hot scramble. So you
I
get
believe
it.
that's called quiche.
So then you get you get that egg to about like halfway done scramble. You spread it out on top of the cheese whiz, cover that with mozzarella, throw it in the oven for like 10 minutes, and that's good eating.
I'd eat it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We got a lot of them around gas stations where I live. Like they're very common gas station staples here.
Yeah, the Pizza Patrol here in town. They started the breakfast pizza thing here, and that was like the man. They were open till 3 o'clock in the morning, and you just had 15 vodka tonics, and you just got home from the bar, and you're like, oh, breakfast
15?
pizza sounds really good right now. Then you'd order one, and it cost like $20, which was like a prince's ransom back in the day in my drinking days. And then you'd be like, it's gonna be like 45 minutes, and you're like, I'm not gonna be passed out in 45 minutes. You're just hanging on, waiting for that breakfast pizza, and then I got there. Oh, so good.
There's this pizzeria called Georgie's House of Pizza on Elgin Street here in Ottawa, and Elgin Street's like the second phase of your bar going days, like the late 20s, early 30s. The market downtown is where you do it when 19 to whatever to 22 or 23. So when you're done partying on Elgin, you go to George's House of Pizza, and they have this thing called the Bob Special, and it's a pepperoni slice with some chicken gravy on top of it,
Oh, that
like
sounds
poutine
good.
gravy. It's actually really good.
I want some poutine soon. That sounds good. Tried
Yeah,
Cane's chicken for the
it's
first
basically a
time.
poutine minus the no fries. But I've had many of those in the wee hours of the morning.
Cookie Kid just posted a
Matt.
link that said people that use ChatGPT too much become chatbot junkies.
Chat bot
I can see that.
junkies. Huh.
Are you
That's a-
singing Jukebox Hero?
I was.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was good.
That's good.
You going to Niagara Falls, Matt?
I am.
Okay.
See your
Sure
girlfriend?
your papers are in order.
They are.
Good.
Niagara Falls, I will do. I have rooms for
Dallas.
Gen Con and BGG.
I know.
They're tentative. I even bought my badge for Gen Con too, actually. But yeah, I don't
Play
know.
by ear.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as a cis white male, I think I mean I'm right now. I mean, what I'm doing is I'm looking on the Government of Canada travel advisory page for the U.S. and it's still a green light. So
So what's the what's the short summary story of this Canadian woman's, how did she get picked up by ICE? Because she was crossing from Mexico back to US? Is that what it was?
hold on.
It's not, yeah, whatever. I don't know if I want to keep dwelling on this. So disappointing. It's so
That's okay.
depressing. But I was reading it. It sounds like a nightmare. My God.
Well, we're kind of living in a nightmare right now. I mean,
I mean, this
let's-
thing is ridiculous.
this whole yeah, we're living in a goddamn nightmare. So I don't know if you realize that or not.
Yeah.
Well, this is where I ask if anybody played any games.
Oh, I did. We played twice tonight, Catan Soccer Fever, and it is fantastic. You like Catan? It is a must-own expansion. I think unless you're teaching new people, you will play with it every single time. It adds, it gets rid of the desert, replaces it with a soccer stadium right in the middle. There's one other soccer stadium around the board. And when you place a city or a settlement on a soccer stadium, you get to put like a shot token in there, and that's how many essentially coin flips you get to do, or the soccer balls you get to roll whenever there's a match. And there's a match anytime anyone builds a settlement or a city, and so there's like this track, and what it amounts to is first place gets 3 points. So now there's a floating 3 points that you're competing throughout the game, but you're like really heavily invested in the other results of the match. So it's like really exciting. And the soccer itself is just like, it's a coin flip essentially 50-50, but it's super fun because you're like really rooting for other people to win or lose. I think if you like Catan, it's a must own at $20. I think you will not just, I think if you like Catan, get it, period. Even if you don't like soccer, still a heck of a lot of fun.
Well, who doesn't like soccer? Me.
I don't like, well, yeah, it's growing on me.
Run. Keep running. Run.
So is
some
all the
more.
other stuff the same? Like you trade and all that, roll the dice,
Yeah, yeah.
build your buildings, and
Yeah, no other changes. There is one. I actually really dig this. It makes the knights more viable because when you play a knight, normally it just sits out there and it's for your longest army. However, if you want to, you can train a knight to go play soccer, which means every time you have a match, and you can have up to 12 matches in a game. So there's a lot of them. You get to roll. You get to roll the ball one more time. And
What game are you talking about?
Catan Soccer Fever. It's a $20 like small. It's like a small box, pretty much. Expansion for Catan, 3 and 4 players only.
I've never played Catan.
It's fun.
Neither have I.
Matthew.
I used to own 2 copies, even 2
My
different
God.
copies, and they're
You guys
gone
are missing
now.
out.
I owned like everything for it at one time, and I just never.
Have you ever played well, I know I mean, you've not played Catan at all, right? Like
Never.
any flavor of it?
That blows my mind.
That's unreal.
That's
Actually,
wild.
no, I did play once before. When I first started getting back into board games, I think I played once in my friend's place, but it was like a half a game.
Okay.
My mother has played more Catan than I have.
I played in the
Cities
world
and Knights is a
record
very
game.
good game.
Yeah, it is.
Even if you're like done with Catan, Cities and Knights adds like another,
Yeah.
and it's still
Nope,
Catan, but
nobody's
it's got a
arguing
lot
with
more
you.
like little knobs to turn that are fun.
I'm sure you
going-
believe it's good.
I'm
Yeah,
going
it's
back
great.
with my kids through Catan, and I'm loving it. It's like
I
we're
fully-
gonna do. We're
I
doing
fully-
City Nights next.
Yeah, City Nights is really cool. I like it. I fully give Catan credit for the creation of BGG. One of the games that I played that basically sent me down the path.
You hear that, Klaus Tuber? 5%.
It put me on the path to learn about the games. That, and Tigers and Euphrates. Those are the two games.
Is the card game any good? Tigers and Euphrates card game?
Never played it. I would just play Tigers and Euphrates, honestly.
Yeah, well, I like to live my life to the beat of a different drum than you, Scott. I'm gonna play the fucking card game.
Go for it. Let me know how it is. I'd be
Probably
curious.
the best game ever.
It might be.
No, it's not. Doesn't look like it.
I mean, I even like the Yellow and Yangtze. That's pretty fun too. It's a little different. I've not played Wang yet. Wang?
Wang?
It's Huang. How do you pronounce that? Wang? Wang?
Wong.
Wang?
Whenever I heard Wang, I just think of the Simpsons episode where Martin Prince is like somebody else is like getting picked on, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad they're being picked on. It'll take the attention away from my T-shirt." And he's got Wang computers.
Oh yeah.
He's got a Wang computers T-shirt. Ah, good stuff. Forrest, how's your Hobbit hole coming? You look like your chainsaw. I mean, you have to be doing it knowing you look like an idiot, and you're just hoping somebody sees it and calls you an idiot to tickle the algorithm, correct?
No, I really enjoy building this thing, man.
No, I believe that you enjoy it. I don't. I'm
Building
not.
what?
You
Just
haven't.
going out
you
in the
haven't-
woods and building a little hobbit hole, or I'm trying to work on it.
Where are these woods, by the way? It doesn't look like you're in a big woods. There's a house like right next to it.
Yeah. I'm not in the big woods. It's in Kimmel, Indiana. It's a public access site, and there's something called the Kimmel Conservation Club that my grandma was a part of for many, many years, and then she got me a spot there. So pretty much, I get to leave my camper up there, which my grandma gave me, and it boils down to about $400 to $500 a year to have it there, to have electricity through April to the end of October, I think it is. And I've been working on a beach out there, which is really coming along. My buddy Adam's hopefully going to help build a pier, like make our pier nicer there, because he's actually my neighbor too. Because that's the other thing. My granny's gave me 2 campers. Actually, she's given me 3 campers out there technically, which is ridiculous. They're all like really, run down, beat down campers. My grandpa was able to, she went to all the garage sales and stuff. I think we were talking about it last week. So she always could like haggle her way, and she would like lowball, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll come back in like 2 hours. They'll take that deal." And like they do it. Like, so she had 3 campers. I gave one to my buddy Jason. I gave one to my buddy Adam. And yeah, it's I think there's like 25 to 30 campsites, but we're about to lose it actually. Like there's it's a totally crazy story, but like in the 80s, because we have 100-year lease from the government, and in the 80s we like screwed up and somebody stole some money and we never reported to the government, so we lapsed on some stuff, and now we're talking to a lawyer to like get it figured out. But there's like a baseball stadium that's also on our land, so we're like co-leasing it with the baseball stadium. The baseball stadium wants to cut us off because they hate how we run it back there, because teenagers go back there and smoke pot, do teenager stuff back there, and because on our beach, and they like it's. And so they think it's us, and it's like this whole thing. And in the winter, we got all these break-ins. Like people are like, my door has like had a crowbar took into it, and like our shed's been broken into, and like it's rough, but it's awesome. It's my chunk of heaven, my home away from home, pretty much. And I'm now getting to the point where I can really put a lot of time and effort into it. But the trail, I haven't actually measured it, like the walk, but the woods are good size. I mean, you can easily get lost in them, but here's the thing. right now it's
How
really
did you get
easy.
lost? There's no way you can get lost. It
Wait,
does
wait.
not look that
No,
big.
no, Lance, because it looks completely different in the summer. Like I love to work now because nothing's growing. Like today, I saw a bunch of stuff starting to grow, like the weeds starting to grow and whatnot. But like if you go watch some of my other videos, like there's one where like I poop in the woods. Like it is really hard to get through the woods. Like it's easy to get lost, but right now it's not. But it's a decent size. I don't know how big it is, but yeah, man, I love that place. Love it. And yeah, I'm gonna dig like a 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 foot hole. I got it plotted out. It's like dead center of the woods, and I've already cleared out like a huge space around it. Like I'm starting to make it so nobody can see it from all the different spots around it. So once the weeds do start growing up, it's gonna be like totally hidden in there. And like, but right now, my grandma, she's about to turn 89 next month. And so what I really want to do, and she actually said to me, she said it twice now. She's like, I really want to walk the trail before I can't walk anymore, Tony. And I was like, oh my gosh, so I got to get it done. So that's really lit a fire to my ass to really bust tail to clear it, because I've worked on this trail for years and years and years, but I've never actually cleared it up. Like took all the logs and the debris and the dead carcasses and whatnot and hauled them off. But I'm about halfway there now, and it's amazing exercise, and I love being out there. My dog loves being out there, and it's actually a super valuable skill too. Like I'm learning a lot just about nature and my body as well, like how to trick my body so I could work longer, like switching, like I raked for like 4 hours today and like hauled stuff, and it's like, so I switched sides, so I started doing everything left-handed, so it was like far less efficient, but it's like, all right, I started to feel like, you guys know what I'm talking about, like in your back, it's like, oh shit, I gotta switch sides because I'm starting to hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Do it tomorrow.
How old are you?
I know. We'll see. But yeah, I love it out there. Love it.
Sound like a crazy person.
If you're ever in Fort Wayne again, I'll take you to the trail. I'll take like my grandma. I want to learn how to fish. People fish out here. People catch frogs out here.
Is
And
there
it's
a
just
bulletin board
where-
in your
where are
hobbit
you?
hole that has like red yarn going from pin to pin to pin to pin?
Well, here's the other thing too. I watch these YouTube videos called the Outdoor Boys, and they just go out. There's this guy who just goes out in the woods, and he's like, all right,
Here it is. Here's the reason.
No. I've been working on the trail before I started watching these videos. They started to recommend me the videos when I started to walk the trails and make the trails. Like I've planted a disc golf course for my kid out there, and like we planted potatoes out there. We've done a bunch out there. It's just that I started to be like, oh, this YouTube short format is perfect for this sort of stuff. Because I've been out there shooting videos. Like the bottom line is, my most popular live stream ever was me in the woods with a chainsaw. A YouTube short, like I can't not see that and be like, oh wow, YouTube really says that if I screw around out here, I can get good results. So I'm trying to do this episodic format content where it's like, oh, there's going to be a 15-part series. And so if I get you on any of the parts, because you see the one with the cops, or you see the one with the giant chainsaw or the tree or whatever, then hopefully you'll watch the whole thing. I don't know. I'm trying different stuff. Like I'm always experimenting, always trying different things with the YouTube channel. And this one seems to be working pretty well right now. All it takes is one of these to get on the short shelf a second time, and then I think it'll be money. Like you've watched some, Lance. Are they at least passable entertainment?
Well, when you picked up the giant chunk of construction cement, and then you were trying to say it looked like a beehive that solidified somehow, I was like, first of all, you're not that stupid. And if you are that stupid,
I actually was. I thought that's what that was.
No, that is a leftover cement clod from like when they're like pouring cement, like when there's like you're pouring the cement into your driveway, then there's like the end of the cement mixer, like there's usually a giant clod, and they'll just, because they can't get it back into the thing, they just deposit it. And
that's actually that makes a lot of sense, because the reason why the Kimmel Conservation Club was even given to us like 100 years ago was because they were going to build a cement factory back there, and then they ended up not doing it for some reason, but they hauled a bunch of stuff there, so that would make sense. Because there's like old school, like in the middle of the woods, like telephone poles and stuff like that I've seen, and Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But no, I legitimately thought that was like a solidified beehive under the tree or something like that. I said it's heavy like cement.
Then I answered, it is cement.
Yeah, that makes. I didn't mean that for that to be a joke. That's fantastic.
God love you.
Whose job was it to write initials this
Love
week?
you, buddy.
I've
Oh,
I've got
shit.
initials.
Oh, thank God, Lance. I totally spaced on that.
I figured you would.
I forgot I won.
We won't let that happen again.
Well, no, I mean, and I wish I hope it works out for you, man. I mean, you generally look like you're having a good time out there. So,
Oh, I am. I absolutely. It's a. I love being out in nature. Like I used to do it all the time as a kid because my mom was never around, and I'd hang out in the woods.
that makes a lot of sense.
A lot of interesting things you find out in the woods. A lot of things people want to get rid of and don't want you to find, and you find it like, oh wow, that's neat. Here's a stolen moped or broken down bike or beer bottles all over.
Anybody watching Daredevil Born Again?
I've watched the first 2 or 3 episodes with my wife. I mean, it's just we're so behind on so many different shows.
Oh shit! You know what I watched that I'm almost done the first season. Or if there's, I'm not sure there's going to be any more. But Rogue Heroes.
No, I'm not watching that.
It's all about the creation of the SAS, the British SAS. It's excellent. It's really very good.
I believe you.
Yeah. I would recommend that for anybody who's in like who likes like the whole Band of Brothers kind of thing. It was quite good.
Ooh. I mean, that's you say Band of Brothers, that makes me more interested. Like it's that it's like actually historically accurate kind of thing.
Yeah, it is.
But
Which
If you believe showrunners.
what
Rogue
service is it?
Heroes.
What streaming service is it?
Prime.
what show is it?
I got
Rogue Heroes.
that. Rogue Heroes. I'm gonna have to download that.
Is it a war story?
It takes place in World War II.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
About
I'm
the
in.
creation of the SAS.
He's in.
Did any of you guys watch the Severance finale?
I
Yeah.
have not seen season 2 at
Season
all.
2?
Was that the finale?
Yeah.
Man.
Series or season finale?
Season 2. Series finale.
So it's the last
season
episode.
finale. No,
Depends
season
on what
finale.
country you're in.
No, it's not.
Series in England, season here in North America.
It's a series finale. It's a season finale. Yeah, it's just one.
I gotta.
There's more story. It's not done. I kind of wish it was done though. You know what I mean? I might be.
You want to give up on it.
Severanced out. Yeah, I kind of do. I mean, I like the show, but I want it to reveal more stuff.
Yeah.
They have not revealed. I mean, there's some reveals on this one. I can't complain about that.
Can we just say
But
that
it barely reveals anything really.
Can we just say that the dude that plays Mr. Milchick is awesome?
He is very good. My God, that guy's creepy AF. My
Yeah.
God,
He's excellent. And he's so funny. Like I've seen him in interviews. He's
yeah,
hilarious.
he's good. Yeah. Can't really talk about the Severance finale, I guess.
Well, I mean,
what else is going on?
yeah, you can't because
Not really.
people.
Doesn't really work. I mean, you guys know the premise, right?
That you go to work, but you don't know what you're doing at work, and then you get done.
Basically, it's
Yeah.
two personas and living in your body. Like your work persona, it's called the innie because you're in the work environment. And basically, from the innie's perspective, all you see is the work. So you're basically trapped in this like underground building, and all you do is work all day. And then you leave the building, and they have this cool video sequence where they show like the elevator's door close, and then it's like, that makes this crazy sound, and then it like opens up, and the guy's like, "Wait, it's the next day," because he doesn't have any outside memories.
Yeah,
It's fascinating.
it's a neat premise, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like I've always said that it's just like if you I've always had a problem or I've had a tough time wrapping my brain around the um the premise of well, the famous one is like the thought process of like what if the Star Trek transporter actually just kills the person it transports, but it makes an exact duplicate of the person there with
Mhm.
all the same memories.
Yeah.
So is there, and it's hard. You try to wrap your brain around that, and so I've always hated that thing where, like famously, like in the Matrix, where the guy basically rats out the rest of the freedom fighters by saying, "I want you to wipe. I don't want to remember any of this."
Yeah, I want to wait.
And
I
I
want
want you
you
to
to wait
make
my
me a movie
memories.
star, and I want you to give me a perfect life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that doesn't make any sense to me because it's like, well, but you won't know that you've actually. I mean, it would like if you were so horrible that you would be willing to kill all your friends to get it, then wouldn't you be one of those things where it's like I want you just to like so you know how bad it was, so you know what it was otherwise? I mean, if you wiped it and all of a sudden you're just in a different world and you never knew what happened before, then that version of you is dead and gone. And so you
So
can't
that's basically what Severance
yeah.
is.
And so I have a difficult time wrapping my brain around that. And I know it's weird, because it's just kind of like it's it's it toys with the I don't know, for lack of a better word, like the the meta like the metaphysics of it, if that's probably not the right word, but you know what I'm trying to get at, hopefully. Um,
Existentialness.
yeah, that's
Existentialism
a
of it.
much better word. Thank you, Aldi. Yeah, I mean, it messes with the existentialist aspect of it, right? So it's like,
Yeah, what is living mean?
what is
What
being
does it mean
alive?
to be alive? Yeah.
But I mean, okay, and this is I don't know really anything about other than that little bit that you just gave me. My big thing is it's like, is it a situation where like you remember walking up to the door of the elevator and then something happens, then the next thing you remember is you getting off the elevator. So
Yeah.
like so that I can wrap my brain around a little bit more because it's like, okay, I went to work and I did something, but now I left, and presumably the people work here because they're paying them a shitload of money or something like that, right? I mean, that's like got to be like the premise. Like, why would you work at a place that does that?
Well, there's story for that. There's a reason that he's working at this place.
And that's fine. I mean, but I mean,
Not
there's there's
spoiler
there's
by saying why.
there's reasons, right?
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are
that that
reasons.
that are important enough for that situation that you would do it. Which, okay, then I can appreciate that. But I mean, but if it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, and you'll forget like I've always hated that movie about where he says, "I want you to erase all the memories of my ex-girlfriend." Like
Yeah.
Eternal
Eternal
Sunshine of
Sunshine.
the
Yeah.
Spotless Mind or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I always hated that premise too, where it was just kind of like, but
I like that
it's
movie a lot.
it's a good movie, but I that premise, like I said, I can't wrap my brain around it. Which it's just me, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. Just
Well, this has parts like that.
at some point you're like,
It's just it's an interesting show. I mean, I watched all of it. I mean, but it
I
did drag a
smashed
bit. And
I smashed season one when my daughter was born, so
there's
I'm
a lot
excited
of
to get season two in.
dangling parts that are not answered at all.
I'll be right back in just a couple minutes, and then we'll do initials. I gotta grab a soda, and I gotta talk to my family real quick.
Yeah. And then I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
I fell asleep in my fucking office chair today. Like
Ooh.
what I do is I'm working, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna lie back like this for 1 second.
Yeah. Do you have a headrest on your chair? I just put a
No.
headrest on my chair here.
I don't.
So,
For that specific reason why I don't have a headrest on my
oh,
chair.
it's so nice.
I don't like big
So I got
chairs.
rid of my old office chair. It's gone now.
Your
No chance of fixing it.
well, was it a
I
leaf?
mean, I could fix it, but it's broken in many ways. The one that broke the wheel off of it, my old like the leather one I had, the
Oh yeah.
brown leather chair I had. Even though it's very soft, like I miss it.
Yeah.
But I went back to Aeron.
What do you have? What are you sitting in?
Aeron.
Aeron what?
Aeron.
Oh, an Aeron's right.
An Aeron, yeah.
Herman Miller Aeron.
Herman
Right.
Miller Aeron, yeah. I had one before a few years back,
See,
5 years ago.
I like to.
It was
sit-
so worn out, I just threw it out.
Yeah. Did you buy it new? Did you
So
buy
I
a
got
new
a
one?
no. It's basically an open box version.
Oh, okay. I
Like,
like to
cheap, but
sit
still not
with
that cheap.
my. I like to sit with my leg underneath my.
Yeah, that's right. You talked about that, right?
So I can't. I don't think I
Can't.
can use an Aeron.
No, because they got a hard plastic rim around the.
Yeah. So actually, global.
What kind
I
of chair do you have now?
it's like a global, knee tilter, basic executive office chair, like one of these jobbies.
Yep, I recognize it.
One of these guys.
Yep, I know that one. I had one of those for a long time.
This
When
is
I
my
worked
this is my I like these a lot,
office.
and
Yeah,
they're
they're really good.
They're like
Perfectly fine.
$400.
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
I have a Leap at work, and I like it, but I think I like this kind of chair more. I just
I'm
gotta
getting
bite,
used to the Aeron. My tailbone's hurting less.
yeah. I just gotta bite the bullet and buy another chair because this one
My
is
tailbone is
falling
sensitive
apart
these
big time.
days.
What's that, Haldy?
My tailbone is sensitive these days.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Like, do you know the chair that Staples makes called the what is it called?
Baxter or something?
No, it's like an Aeron kind of like anybody who, if you go search for videos, Staples, I can't remember what it's called. Hold on. Now I gotta find it because I can't remember. Maybe Kabuki will find it before. Hiking.
Hiking, yeah,
Like
yeah.
hiking, like, and it's super cheap, right? It's like under $200. Um, I cannot stand that chair.
No.
Like there's so many videos of praising it. I'm like, oh, this is the one for me. No, doesn't work. Did not work for me. My butt hurts so bad.
Like how much if I wanted to buy a new global chair? Globally, it's a Canadian brand.
Got it.
Office chairs.
I feel like I could use a little more padding though. I've got like a butt cushion, but then
Yeah,
I'm sitting too high. I don't know. I'm really picky of the chairs. I'm like the worst.
yeah.
I mean, the chair that I had before was perfect. Sucks that it's broken. It's not just the caster. It's also the whole pneumatic part.
Uh-huh.
It's basically gone.
Yeah.
And anyway, whatever. Moving on from this chair.
I got you.
Maybe someday I'll get another chair, but not anytime soon.
Tilt.
So I missed the plot about you moving to the woods there, Forrest. What happened?
Oh, no, I'm not moving to the woods. I just decided to build like this little hobbit hole out in the woods. I just wanted to build like a
Okay.
little
Is it near your
underground
house?
bunker structure and like
Is it-
chronicle it.
Is it near
It's-
your house?
It's about 45 minutes away. It's about 10 to
What?
15 minutes away from where my grandma lives.
Okay. Is it more to go visit her?
Uh, no, I mean, I love it.
You
We
just
spend the
basically
night
said,
all the
I'm
time.
picking a place 45 minutes away. I'm going to go work out there for like a while. And
No. So it's a giant chunk of land, and
He's
our
still
job
doing
is
this?
to conserve the land and take care of the land, right? Like that's the main. We're the Kimmel Conservation Club, and so since I'm a member of that club, I have a campsite there that I pay $400-500 a year for. I got a little camper out there that we've been slowly putting more and more stuff into to make it just like a little home away from home. Like I've added a beach to where we are because we're right next to. We have like a little chunk of lake there. We've spent 2, 3, 4 nights at a time there, and then out in the woods, there's just like this huge chunk of woods, and no one did anything with it because it got to the point that there was just too many mosquitoes and these invasive weeds that will like climb up the trees and like completely
Okay.
like I said, we signed a 100-year lease, and the price has not risen. Like the price hasn't risen with everything else that has in the last 100 years. It's awesome.
Okay, cool.
So hopefully we're not going to lose it because of the government taking it back from us. But even if they do, my buddy Adam was talking about just buying a chunk of land somewhere near us, and playing with it too, because his youngest son is all about doing naturey sort of stuff.
You say naturey sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, kid can sit out there and just look for bugs and dig for hours. Because my buddy Adam has a massive backyard, like just a huge backyard. They pretty much just turned into like a big, go out there and play and dig and whatever you want to do out there sort of thing. So the kid loves looking for bugs.
Neat.
It is. Makes me
Naturey.
very happy.
Naturey.
And it's all
Naturey,
because
baby.
my granny,
Naturey.
my granny gave it to me. Love that woman.
All right. Well, I got this. I got these. We want to play with just 3 of us?
I mean, what's the
Evan said
choice?
Evan said he'd be extra late, so he might pop in.
Nah, I mean,
Well, Matt's got to go. Or do you, Matt?
I don't have to go, but I'm
He
kind of.
fell asleep in his chair. He took a nap today.
It was like a
I
10
want
minute.
to fall asleep in my chair.
What's that?
oh,
I wanna
I
fall asleep.
I fall asleep in this chair many times.
I have a grievance. I mean, are we trying to delay or should I?
Yeah,
should we
yeah.
just-
Do your grievance. Do your grievance. I want to hear your
So,
grievance.
are you guys familiar with the thing called deep learning? Do you know what that is? It's basically the behind AI.
Yeah.
So we have this system on BGG that does recommendations, right?
Huh?
And it was written by a guy who works at Netflix named Toby. And he wrote it probably like 5 years ago for us. And remember, I went through all these upgrades, right? Last week or whatever it was. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
Those are grievance from last week. So
Yeah.
turns out in the process of upgrading, the recommendation system was broken. So basically what it does every night, it'll download the entirety of the database of all the ratings of everybody's ratings, and it'll run through this mathematical formula, basically creating vectors of matrices, if anybody cares about that kind of stuff.
I care.
It's using the let me see, what's the terminology. There's a model that it uses. What is it called? Now I can't remember the name of it. Whatever. It's not important. Give me 1 second. Actually, I want to say it what it is now. So we use this Python script that basically generates it, and it's kind of intensive, right? But it's called I've already gotten that. I cannot find the name of it. God damn it. Alternating least squares. That's what it's called. And so every night it will run, and it probably takes like a half an hour. It's not really that long, but it broke when we upgraded it. So I was like, oh, well, that should be easy to fix. So I, you know, both Toby and Dan wanted to like go just revert the reversions back to like what it was, like 5 years ago. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like it's not that hard of a script to do. Should just work, right? Should be easy. Well,
Yeah.
famous last words. So I've been spending the past 2 days trying to figure out how this stupid thing works. The library that we use basically had a bug in it with the new version of Python. And I just found that out after spending 10 hours of trying to fix the problem. So I was debugging the code. I was like looking through it. I'm like, how does this work? I started learning about the process, learning about the math, trying to verify my data, just seeing where, what's going wrong step by step by step, tons and tons of time. And then I was like, okay, well, let me try a different model. Like there's these different models you can use. Not just, there's different engines that can create representation of this math, right?
Yeah.
So I got a couple other engines working and they were just like dog slow. Like it would, if I let it run fully, it would take over 3 hours to generate the recommendation system. And I'm like, I can't wait that long to see the results, right? I want to see I need it instant. I need it running under 10 minutes like it used to run, or under half an hour like it used to run. So kept just debugging and trying the models. And finally I'm just like, what's this model? Like I went back to the, it's an open source project. So I went to the GitHub. You guys know what GitHub is?
I'm familiar. Yeah.
It's like the source code, it's
Yeah.
like where the source and like it's a basic community of developers. Like you can talk about projects. Well, I find that version of that algorithm, the alternating least squares thing, and this was a specific implementation of it. And I look in their issues tracker, right? You can track bugs. Number one issue fails to work on Python 3.9. I'm like, exactly the same problem I was having. Like it wasn't giving back results correctly. I'm like, God damn it. I wish I had done that 2 days ago. So there's my grievance. I wish I had looked at the source code a little bit more, like to go to the project page of the GitHub.
Motherfucker.
Mother scratcher. Yeah, I was just like, okay, well, I guess I gotta. So I downgraded my Python to 3.8, like one version back. Worked perfectly.
What a coincidence. My wife told me I needed to downgrade my Python.
Anyway, that was a long-winded version of basically saying just downgrade the version, and because
they
wanted to revert back to like 5 years ago. I'm like, no way, right? Because that'll let us work for like another year or two maybe, and then we'd have to be dealing with this again. I'm gonna solve it now. Like, why is this broken? Well, it turns out I can't even fix it because it was basically the underlying, the fact that the package that it was using was depending on something that broke in the new version of Python. So the maintainers really have to do it. I mean, if I really wanted to be the source code, cowboy, I could basically try to fix that code, but I think it's a little bit beyond my comprehension. It's a little too mathy.
There's never too mathy.
Oh, this stuff's pretty heavy. Do you know what a sparse matrix is?
No.
Yeah.
I could pretend that I do.
Anyway.
I don't. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Well, it's cool because you could just plug this stuff in and it just works, right? It's really cool how it works. Anyway. And Toby wrote it in like a day, back 5 years ago. He's like, I got it working. I'm like, what? Because he's like, can I get into your code and do some stuff? And I'm like, sure. Here's the keys to the stuff, right? Gets in, starts filling.
Here's the keys to the castle.
I wrote a recommendation system. Took me a day.
Does he know that you make him sound like a nerd?
What's the opposite of a grievance again?
He's a genius. I wasn't trying to make him sound like a nerd.
The opposite is a benediction, I guess.
All right, I got a benediction. I'm gonna kiss Scott's ass some more. I am eagerly checking every single day for the Origins of Gen Con math trade to pop up. I love your website.
Okay.
I decided I'm really gonna go hard on that this year. And
what do you want?
I want to fill in some of my Grail games. I just want to get. Well, part of the reason why I'm getting so much into Catan is because I did one a couple of years back, and I got a boatload of Catan stuff. I got a boatload of what's that? Castle Panic stuff, and I want to just get like completionist sets of stuff. We're like nearly like, oh, we stopped collecting like 5 years ago, but you still have like 65% of just like popular stuff. Just filling in my blind spot. I've never played Nexus. I've never played Quacks of Quedlinburg. Just stuff like that.
Oh, we should talk about the new Quacks of Quedlinburg too. Anyway, we can play initials and then talk about that afterwards.
Well,
Anyway.
I mean, you just see, a lot of people are like just losing their minds about it. I just like
A lot of people are losing their minds about it.
and it's just kind of like, who took away your original? I mean, who took away your big box Quacks? I mean, just play that
I don't
one.
know. I mean, here's the thing. They sold 1 million copies already. Like, why would they change? I don't know. I don't understand why they're changing it. I guess I understand the reasons, but I don't really.
Do you
I don't
understand the
either.
reasons? You tell me what you think.
They
the
said that
reasons
it's
are.
more palatable for an American market.
So here's what the reasons are. They're going to sell it regardless. And there's going to be enough people out there who are going to say, you know, even though I have everything already, I'm going to buy the new one that comes in the big box all with everything all together because it's so
Less
much.
pieces, too.
Yeah. You know, so that's, you know, and you can, so that's why people end up doing that, right?
Well, they're also trying to reach another market, like a more
Well,
casual.
yeah, ostensibly that's what it is too. It's like, oh, and then when you change it, make it something new, then people are going to be like, "Oh, that sounds cool." You know, I mean, they start thinking it's like that'll be neat if we, have this, that, and the other thing involved. You know, what I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's if you don't think they went into it saying, "Oh, how can we make more money?"
Well, I'm sure that's part of the discussions.
No.
I hope.
How can we sell more copies of this? That's basically that's the goal. I mean, I guess if I'm being a critical person, if you look at the box of Quacks, it doesn't look like easy, right? It looks complicated.
I see that. I've never
It's
played
got
Quacks.
a high frequency. It's got a high frequency piece of artwork on the front. Like a lot of stuff.
I think that's very fair. I never played it, and when I heard it was nominated for the Spiel, I was like, "Oh, that's way more simple than I thought it would be." Like, I think that's very fair.
I mean, I think it's a wonderful game.
I still want to play it one day.
Yeah, it's a great game. Did we lose Matt?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
No, I'm here. I'm just bored. I don't like any of you.
1 second. I'm just.
I mean, to be fair, I am freaking exhausted too. This week has
Call it
been.
early.
No, I still want to hang out and talk because I mean, I want to talk about True Detective real quick, actually. So,
I'll be right
and
back then. I'm gonna get a coffee. I'll be right back.
well, you don't want to
I'll
hear
hear you.
You don't
Yeah,
wanna
I've
hear
never
my
watched
thoughts?
any of
I'll
them.
carry you through my phone. I mean, do I need to hear it?
Well, I would like. I mean, you've watched all four seasons, haven't you?
Only the first
Are
season.
you doing spoilers? Because I'll go do something else.
I only watched.
No,
the first
I'm
season.
not going to do spoilers. I just wanted to. Yeah,
I fell. Oh no! You know what? I watched the Jodie Foster season. That's all. That's the one I've seen most recently.
So you watched the fourth season?
Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I
And
did
you
not
watched-
see the second or third.
You did not see the second or third.
I don't even remember this. I mean, second was Vince Vaughn, right?
Yeah, Vince Vaughn,
was third?
and third was oh god, I
Or
can't
is the
remember.
Jodie Foster the third?
No, Jodie Foster's the fourth. Season 3, it had to do with, I can't remember the actor's name right now, but it's not only is he trying to solve a case that he had when he was younger that he
that's
wasn't able to solve.
Yeah, I knew who that is.
But he's got dementia, and so like you kind of are working, like you're seeing the world through his eyes as he's like slowly forgetting things.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a great actor. I need to watch that one.
I like
Yeah,
it a
that season 3 is a mind bender, baby. That's
Okay.
It's not as good as season 1. You can't hit season 1, the highs of season 1. But I couldn't believe the people that were just trashing on season 4. Like there was all these things like,
I thought it
oh,
was great.
Season 4 True Detective is garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. You know,
Oh,
and
it's
all
great.
this stuff.
Oh my God.
And it was like, oh, you're trying too hard to connect it with season 1 because there's like a couple of 2 or 3 like connections between season 1 and season 4 that they don't play up at all. I thought the fact that there was only 6 episodes was brilliant. it was quick and it was easy and it was like it didn't drag. I
No.
thought that um the use of the paranormal along with the real world, like it really connected really well. And also it didn't feel the need to explain everything to everything. It was just like much like season one. Like
Well,
remember in
doesn't it sort of explain everything by the end of it?
season six? I
No,
mean, sort
season
of.
4.
Season four. Season four. No, I
Yeah.
mean, well, there's like
Well,
stuff
there's
that's you,
still something mysterious, but it's not. That's not necessarily to. You don't necessarily need to know that.
no, you don't. I mean, it's just like it tells you what you know. Remember in season one where they're sitting there at the end, and it's like, oh, but there's and like there's the thing where it's like, well, we didn't do X, Y, and Z, and Woody Harrelson's character says, yeah, but we got our guy. We did
Yeah,
what we
there was
had
a
to.
more sinister thing at play
Yeah, and they're
in
like, what are
season
we gonna
one.
do about that? And he's like,
Doesn't
and then
matter.
the final line of that too, it's like you see all those stars up there. It used to be all dark. That I like that line. That line works really well. No, I just can't believe. I mean, I think people just hated on it because of the fact that I mean, sadly, I think they hated on it because it was directed and produced, and pretty much the showrunner was a woman. I think that's why people fucking hated on it. I mean, it was just like a bunch of
Well, I
fucking.
mean, and also like, what are you reading? Is it
Well,
Reddit?
I just was like, okay, it's like season four. I was like, because I wanted to like there was like I had a few questions like, how did that work? Why was it that way? And like, so you do a quick Google search for it, and they're like, oh, here's a video, and it's like, okay, I'll watch that video about it. And they explain anything. I was like, okay, that makes more sense now because I couldn't connect those two dots. Then of course YouTube says, oh, you want to hear more about
Go
season
down the
four of True
rabbit hole.
Detective. Here's do you want to know more? Just like here's a video about season four, blah blah blah, garbage. I'm just like, what? I mean, I was just yeah. So I don't know. It had wonderful moments of like tension and like things where you were like and like stuff that was I don't know, it was just tough. It was good. And the woman that was the showrunner for season four. She's gonna be the showrunner for season five, and I'm like, excellent. I'm all in. Give me
I
give
am
me
too.
six more episodes.
I
And
need
I
to go
thought
watch 2 and 3.
Jodie Foster was excellent in that. I thought she was great. And then
Yeah,
and of course I can't remember the name of the other actress that played the
yeah.
the other cop.
Is she a rapper?
No, she's a boxer.
Boxer.
Yeah, she's like, mixed martial arts and boxer. I mean, like, and really good at it too. And also
Ronda
obviously
Rousey?
an actor. What?
Ronda Rousey?
No, 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 no,
No.
no. But also, I mean, I love that it was like a really good, they really paid a lot of homage and
Ali Reese.
Ali Reese, yes. And then a lot of respect to the Inuit people and their religion and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I
there was
mean,
lots of
like
great stuff in that.
there was like so much stuff in there that was just like this is cool and like the freaking polar bear. I mean, man, like that was like what was going on with that? It was just like, just the symbolism of the polar bear and like, and all that. Oh man, it was so good. And then, I mean, it's
I
just
mean, that
like
pile of bodies too is just so creepy.
oh, it was so creepy. I mean, definite Thing vibes, right? I mean, you
Yes,
you can't not have Thing vibes about that. And then of course
kind of
like
look like it.
police corruption and
Yeah,
just all
yeah, lots of good stuff.
lots of good stuff, lots of great stuff that
Well,
that just
when is
was
season
like
5 coming?
there's usually a couple years in between each
I mean,
each
when did
each
season
season.
4 come out?
Last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah. Um Oh, and then the last thing I wanted to say was that uh last Christmas my wife got me the Stephen King book of short stories. You Like It Darker. And there is like I read the whole thing and there's one story in there, and this isn't spoilers, but I mean if you read I've always been a fan of Stephen King short stories. His short stories are always better than his novels. It's like because he's better when it's a quick read. It's better when there's a quick thing that he wants to talk about. And when he, like some of his best stuff, like Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption. I mean, that was a novella that was like maybe 150 pages long or 160 pages long. Great thing. The Body, which is what Stand By Me was based off of. Great little novella. His longer stuff is always ends up being, like he doesn't know how to finish it. Like that's his biggest thing, right? But anyway, so in that book of short stories of You Like It Darker, there's like some really good ones. Like if you ever read Cujo, there's like kind of an epilogue story about Cujo that's based that centers around the dad from that novel, which is really really good. And there's a bunch of other stuff, but there's a story in there and I was like, "Oh my god, this story is amazing!" Like it was like usually I hadn't been like I gotta keep reading because I gotta know what happens. It was called Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream, and the whole premise behind it is there's this ordinary guy. He's just completely ordinary. He lives in a trailer park. He works for the school district as the head janitor at a high school. He is working through the summer to like basically clean up the high school and get it ready for the next school year. And one night he works, he goes home to his home, his trailer. He goes to bed and he has a vivid dream about himself driving down an old deserted road in his county. He's never been on the road before, but he knows where the road is. Goes to an old broken down gas station and he finds a dead body there in the dream, and he wakes up screaming like, "Oh my god!" Like what the hell? And so then that preys on his mind constantly about like that's like a place, and so he uses like Google search and the Google Maps, and he's like, "There's a broken down gas station on that road that he's never been on in his entire life." But one day after work, he drives over there. He goes to the broken
Are
down
you
gas
telling
station.
more of the story than
No,
you
no.
need to
I
be
mean, this
telling
this is
here?
this isn't the first like 2
Okay.
pages of the story. He goes there, and there's a dead body there. And he's
Dun,
like,
dun, dun.
yeah, like, what the hell? And so then he doesn't know what to do. And so he's smart enough to say, if I report this, everybody's going to say I'm the one who killed him. Because why else would I know there's a dead body there out in the middle of freaking nowhere? Like, there's no reason for me to be out here in the first place.
That's cool.
So he's like, so what do you do? And
That
so, of
reminds me of the
course,
Dead Zone.
yeah. And of course, he ends up reporting it thinking, "Oh, I'm going to do it anonymously," but the police figure out that he was going to report it, and so then they zero in on him to investigate him for murder. And he's like, "I didn't have anything to do with this." And they're like, "Yeah, sure, you didn't have it. Well, how'd you know the body was there?" And it is a combination of like the paranormal of why he had that dream, a combination of the cops investigating him and like them like just hammering on him and hammering on him and hammering on him, trying to get him to admit that he did it, him trying to avoid getting arrested for a crime he didn't commit, like, and like trying to figure out why he had this dream, why he knows about this. Oh my gosh, it
Because he
was
really
like,
did it.
um,
Oh, there.
I, oh yeah, I mean, it's just, and it was a page turner. Like it's like a 150 page novella, and I read it. I couldn't put the book down. I had to know how it ended. So
Mhm.
it was well worth the purchase price of like $15 or $16 for the book. And I strongly suggest, like, if you can just find that short story at the very end, and it's already been optioned for a movie, like the whole thing to be a movie. Like I was saying this is like the best short story I've read in forever, and I was like, this has to be the best story in this book. And I went online, and it was like everybody is saying it is the best story in this book. And then they've already like Stephen King has already like optioned the story to, like, he handpicked a director. Like apparently he had multiple people hitting him up for like, I want to make a movie about this, and he's already got an option to, like, he handpicked the guy that he wants to do it. So
That's cool.
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So Stephen King is kind of a cheeseburger writer, but he writes good cheeseburgers. So Hello, Evan. You just made it in
What
time
up?
for initials.
Yes.
I went to actually the conference that I met Maddox from Keymaster at, the typography conference. One of the speakers that I saw was this guy, and he had a pulp fiction, like a detective pulp fiction kind of series that he started back up again, like a retro kind of series, and he it was called Hard Case Crime, I think. And he basically had a list of all of these original Pulp Fiction cover artists that he went to, and 70% of them were either, well, 70% were like dead, and the other 30% were like hardly doing it anymore. And he ended up getting enough artists to do the series. But the really cool thing about it was, um, the author, one of the authors that he worked with was Stephen King. And they kind of approached Stephen King about this idea, and he's like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." And they basically they scraped up as much money as they could for a retainer for Stephen King, and the guy said it was probably like equivalent to the amount of money he'd find in his couch cushions, but
Nice.
but he did it. And then so he kind of talked for about 20 minutes on this subject, and it was really neat. And one of the questions that was asked at the end of the talk was, so, you said it's been successful. Was it authors like Stephen King that really helped make this series a success? He says, no, it was Stephen King that helped that made this series a success, because just like his name attached to it just made it. And it was neat. Uh, the really cool part about this talk was he deconstructed the logo for the series, and it was it's a really like very old, let's see if I can find it. It's really kind of neat. It was like a really old school looking Pulp Fiction logo. It was awesome. It was, this was 2016, I want to say, and it's still like fresh in my memory. It was really really good talk.
Yeah,
Good talk. Good talk.
it was a good talk. It was a good talk.
Good
No, that
talk.
does sound pretty cool.
Evan, I still haven't got my shaving kit.
Oh no.
They sent it apparently,
Okay.
but I did not have the most confidence in the girl's ability to do that. I kept saying, she's like, "What's the address?" I'm like, "It's 2740 House Street, 2470. No, 2740 House Street, 2470. No."
Oh no.
And I had to respell several words for her like multiple times.
Oh no.
And
You might
yeah.
need to check back like 2 weeks from now to see if it got returned.
Oh God. Well, my wedding ring is in it.
I know, right? Oh my God. I should have just taken the wedding ring and
You should have.
sorry.
That's okay. No. I hindsight 2020. You have faith in people, right?
Right.
But and
Oh,
then I
gosh.
mean, like, and then my friggin' bite guard, which is just as much, almost costs as much as my fucking wedding ring. Whatever. Yes, Kabuki, shaving kit grievance. Exactly.
You just complain about the price of your wedding ring, sir.
Did I
When
complain about it? No, I complained about the price of my bite guard.
So when I got married, my wife asked me, "What do you want for your wedding ring?" And I said, "I don't care. I don't. I mean, obviously, I spent a chunk of cash on which she then she doesn't wear it anymore. I mean, like she still has it. It's like but like she was always got worried that like basically her diamond ring would get like a diamond would fall off. Like we had a
Yeah.
situation where like it was it was not insured, but whatever, you have the protection plan or whatever. So like one time like one of the diamonds fell out and like got replaced free of charge, because the fact that we actually paid the money or whatever to get it.
That happened to my mom, and
Wow.
it fell out of her. It came out of the setting, and she found it in her purse.
That's crazy. But no, so like when like a few months before we were getting married, she's like, "Well, what do you want for wedding ring?" I said, "I don't care. It's just like some sort of just plain band. That's all I care about." I said, "But
Yeah,
I
mine's
want
a
I
plain band too.
and then she was just like, "Oh," and then that was back when Overstock.com was still a thing. And she found a tungsten band, which I don't think this is actually tungsten, but she found a tungsten band for
It looks like it.
$11.
Oh wow.
And then
Nice.
and that was it. So yeah, I just
Yeah, I
I
think
have a just a tungsten band.
I only wear my wedding ring when I travel. I don't wear it
Oh.
here.
Well, rings don't plug holes, as they say. So it's like it's an old joke where it's like, oh, she's married. Oh well, rings don't. So like,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's an old joke.
Gotcha.
Haha, infidelity. Just
Classic.
evil Forest laughing at.
All right, we doing this or what?
Yeah, we doing this. All right. This is what we got. Initials tonight. Excuse me. Initials tonight are D,
It's nuts.
as in,
Oh,
That's
and then C.
Okay.
So D.
all right. Turn off the chats.
Hold on a second. Hey, John Peterson. John the Bison is in here. This is a guy I've known forever. Hey, John. What are you doing watching me? Sorry, this is a guy like college and everything like that. I mean, I run into him once every like 2 or 3 months. I run into him at like a restaurant or something. He's like I've known him for decades.
Tom
John
Hey, John.
Peterson. No, he's just
from Groundhog's Day.
No, it's just he's an old
that you?
friend. Lots of anyway, John, if you hear me, it's good. Thanks for watching, man. I mean, I lurk. I just saw him at a gas station like a month or so ago, and we ended up like sitting there standing in a gas station for like 20 minutes talking to each other,
That's cool.
catching up over everything that's been going on in my life. So, well, John, it's good to see you. I look forward to our casual run-ins. And yeah, that's nice. I haven't. You should reach out someday, man. Oh, I need to get sorry guys. I need to get I'm talking to this guy in the John, I seriously want to buy some of your Minnesota Twins season tickets this year for sure. I know I talked about doing it last year and then stuff fell through and timing never came up. But I know you
Oh, bank it. They're going to a game together. This is us seeing them take the next step. Oh, look at the
No. I want to get tickets.
Lance.
I want to get tickets for because he's got like some good seats at Target Field.
Yeah, reach out.
And I want to figure out a time that me and my wife can go to a game. So take in a ball game.
Good for you.
Taking the airs.
Taking in the ball game. Anyway, I'll reach out or you can reach out, John. We know how to talk to each other. I still have you on my phone. So, all right, here we go. D as in dong. And then C
Don't say
as
it.
as in cock-a-doodle-doo. There we go. Clue number 1. These are common in schools.
Horse.
Go for it.
Dress code.
Jesus Christ, Forrest. Well done.
Okay.
It's the Adderall, man. It's the Adderall.
Ding.
Laser focus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I had 5 more clues for that one. But I was gonna say common in restaurants, common
Maybe
in
you put it in
dance.
the wrong order. That's all.
I also
Yeah.
was, my degree is in education, so I've spent a lot of time in that world.
All right, here we go. Item number 2, clue 1. Connected to You've Got Mail. Number 2. Affiliated with Mark Twain. Number 3. According to Rolling Stone, the 9th best. Number 4. Starred in a 1998 cult classic.
Force.
Go for it.
Dana Carvey.
And
Dang.
number 5. A star of the stage.
That's clue number 5.
Yep. Final clue. Had a legendary sketch comedy show on Comedy Central.
Dang it.
Evan.
Aldi.
I believe Evan was
Sure.
first. Evan?
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle.
I just thought of another DC that could have fit that, but
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Dave
Number 3, number
Chappelle.
1. Has been seen on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, who hasn't?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Clue number 2. Got their start in 1960. Number 3. Affiliated with Thanksgiving.
Matt,
Go for it.
this is not right. Dick Clark.
And
Forrest.
go for Forrest.
Dana Carvey.
And
Dang.
He's not
yeah,
that
Dana
old.
Carvey's well known for his Thanksgiving.
And they have some SNL skits where he's like a little old lady on Thanksgiving.
We're down to
And that's special.
Aldi and Evan.
Yes, it is special.
Number 4.
Could it be Satan?
Number 4. Commonly numbered. Number 5. Connected to the triplets in the 1990s. Final clue. They aren't mine, but they're called America's Team.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Dallas Cowboys. How did
How
I
about
get
them
this one?
Cowboys?
My God.
How about them Cowboys?
All right.
I don't even cross my mind one time yet.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
either.
There you go. All right, winner 1. Winner 1, connected to records. Winner 2. Connected to ice cubes. Winner 3. Details marital status. Number 4. These are issued.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Death certificate?
Death
Mhm.
certificate
Nice.
is correct.
What's the ice cubes?
Ice Cube from Death Row Records, baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's pretty deep cut.
Oh, you relax. Relax.
You son of a bitch.
Relax. Relax. Number 1. Debuted in 1982.
Of course.
Go
Dana
for it.
Carvey.
Wrong again.
Damn it.
Maybe right. Sometime.
I don't want to lose it.
Number 2. Connected to red, black, and silver. Number 3. Zesty Blood Orange was added in 2018.
Matt,
Go for it.
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke
Yeah.
That
is
stuff was
correct.
so good. That blood
I was
orange.
not on track
Oh,
for that.
The next
Gosh, I
next
got
clue
that.
was some is commonly affiliated with Mentos. Here we go, clue number 1. Connected to Billy Bob Thornton.
what's that connection?
I said connected to Billy Bob Thornton. Clue number 2. Connected to Tennessee. Clue number 3. Connected to a Disney miniseries in the 1950s. Number 4. Known for their hat.
Know this, but I can't get it.
Clue number 5. Known for the Alamo.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Davy Crockett.
Davy.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Davy Crockett.
I couldn't get away from Daniel Boone.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with
King
it.
of the wild frontier.
Again, prejudice against the Canadian.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's very anti-Canadian.
Number 1. Started in 1985. Don't do it, Forrest.
Nope. Not taking the bait.
Number 2. The second word was dropped 10 years later. Number 3. I'll use quotation marks here. Famously mentioned in a 1999 song by the Bloodhound Gang.
Matt,
Evan.
Matthew.
Discovery Channel.
Damn.
Discovery
Yeah.
Channel is correct.
Get the order now.
I had to actually sing it to get it.
I know I did too. I got
Like
there
Discovery Channel. Whatever happened to the Bloodhound
Sweat,
Gang?
baby, sweat.
I don't know.
Clue number 1. Was it attempted to assassinate Tom Hanks in 2002? Clue number 2. Was a stormtrooper.
Force.
Forrest, go.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig is correct.
Nice. Dang.
Didn't get
Falling
it.
behind
Had it.
father and
Yeah.
father.
What assassinate one was that?
The second of the Da Vinci Code movies, whatever. He was the
Was he in that? Okay.
yeah.
Hey, so I want to see that one more now.
I rewatched Road to Perdition. Daniel Craig was so good in that movie.
I didn't even know he was in it.
He's Paul Newman's son.
Maybe I haven't seen Road to Perdition.
Oh, you got to watch Road to Perdition.
Do I?
Is that
Oh,
with
yeah.
Tom Hanks
Is
as
that with
well?
Tom Hanks also?
Tom Hanks is the mafia guy.
No, yeah, I never did see that.
He's just a cold-blooded killer, and it's it's Daniel Craig plays the bad guy, man. You hate him in that movie.
You know who voices Woody in all the other uh Toy Story adaptations, like on video games and TV and stuff?
Daniel Craig.
No, Tom Hanks's brother Jim.
Nice.
Sweet gig.
Thanks.
Not a bad gig at all.
Yeah.
Toy Story movies are good.
They are. Although the teddy bear one was kind of freaky.
3?
Yeah.
I like 3. That was scary.
It
It was scary when they're all like and they all grab each other's hands as
And,
they're
like,
sliding
Pixar's
down.
gutsy enough to do it. Like, you're like, they could do it. Pixar could do it. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, is Pixar gonna do it? They're gonna fucking do it? No.
And I remember I was watching that with my wife with our kid, and I was just like we were both looking at each other like, oh my god, is this happening right now? I mean, like it was like you felt terror at that moment, like for cartoons. It's Watership Down all over again. All right, here we go. Clue number 1, connected to Houston. Clue number 2, has gone to the Super Bowl. Clue number 3, known for being a survivor. Clue number 4, originally known as Girls' Time.
Force.
Go for it.
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child is
Nice.
correct.
How did you know that?
I love Destiny's Child, man. I was just listening to Beyonce today, that country album, man. It's so good. So good.
You just
I don't even know you.
Dude, I listen to everything, man.
you're just all over the place.
No.
Clue number 1. Helped a dog talk. Clue number 2. A lady got one in 1955. Clue number 3. Brian Griffin. Evan.
Dog collar.
Dog
Ooh.
Nice.
collar is correct.
I was like, there's no way you use the word dog in the first clue and it'd be the dog collar. Ugh.
Yeah.
Good point, Aldi.
I know. I was
Brian
like,
Griffin
nah.
has one. Pluto's is often red or
You
green.
used the word in one of the clues,
I
Lance.
know.
No, I didn't.
That's, yes, you did. First
The very first
First
clue you
pull.
did.
I said
dog
helped a Doug talk in.
You
Doug.
said dog. I heard
Dog.
dog.
I said Doug. Helped a Doug
I-
talk and
Did you not hear dog?
I did. I heard dog.
Maybe that's how I got it. I don't know.
well, I might have misspoke,
Doug?
but it's Doug the dog.
Well, we
In-
get that now.
I heard
That's not what
dog.
I heard. Anyway, whatever. Good.
Whatever.
Fair game.
Maybe I misspoke. Yeah, you know what? Fuck you guys.
Let's rewind the tape. See if there's a foul been called.
Yeah, okay. Everybody gets a
Flag
point.
on the
then.
play. See, Kabuki heard dog too.
Well, she would gladly throw me under any bus. So I'm not going to take anything she has to say. Clue number 1. Grew in popularities in the 1970s. Oh, Chad, don't pile on. Clue number 2. These are commonly plastic.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Dust cover.
And
Force.
Forrest.
Dixie Cups.
And
Yeah.
Dixie cups are paper.
Whatever.
number 3. These are linked.
Matt,
Go for it.
Daisy Chain.
And
Yeah, everyone's got a free ride.
Evan, you got all of them. So here you go. Clue number 4. Connected to money. Clue number 5. These have expiration dates.
Oh, you got this.
Clue number 6. These are issued by banks and can be used to make purchases by using money in your checking account.
Is that the full
Oh.
clue?
Jesus.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Evan.
Evan. 5,
Come on, Evan.
4,
Oh, you don't know.
Three.
know.
2, 1.
Deposit check.
Close.
Debit
know.
card.
Debit
Oh, okay.
card.
That makes more sense.
Debit card. Wow, Evan, you had all the
Hey.
clues to yourself.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Happens.
You can't be perfect, Lance.
Yeah, neither can I, apparently. Clue number 1. Connected to dynasty. Or dynasty, depending on how you think it should be pronounced.
That's a Dallas Cowboys clue right there.
Oh, shut up. Clue number 2. Connected to the series Good Luck Charlie.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Disney Channel?
And
What? Come on, Disney Channel works.
Sure does.
Maybe not. Dynasty does make sense.
Clue number 3. Mentioned on South Park.
That narrows it down.
Clue number 4. Known for its nuggets.
Evan.
Evan. 5.
Denver,
4.
Colorado.
Denver, Colorado is
Oh,
correct.
nice.
So we have 2 left. It is literally anybody's game. Aldi has 3, Forrest has 3, Evan has 3, Matt has dose. I have 1. If
You
all
couldn't
of you,
even
if
win.
all of you miss all these, I can tie for the win. So, final 2. Be very careful. Matt, you have to run the table. You have to run
Yeah.
the table to win. So here we go. Clue number 1. Played Buck Swope in a 1997 Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Clue number 2. Appeared in the Best Picture winner at the 78th Academy Awards. Clue number 3. Was a management consultant on a Showtime series.
Matt,
Go for it.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle
Oof.
is
Puck
correct.
Nice.
Swope. I was trying to pull out who that was.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any of those.
All right.
Very nice.
We have 1 left. I am out of the running. I don't think this has ever happened where everybody has
3-way tie.
Four-way
a
tie.
4-way tie. Whoever gets
Wait.
this wins.
Wow.
Whoever
No
gets this wins. So be careful. What, Forrest? Are you checking on your captives in your attic or what?
No, I told you I'm getting ready for the Gen Con math trade. I'm going through the stuff, make sure they got all the components up here.
All right, pay attention. If you get this, you
I
win.
am.
2 in a
I'm
row.
locked in. I got
Two in a row.
3. Good first.
Clue number 1 was referenced in Eminem's song "Without Me." Clue number 2. Connected to Richard Dreyfuss in a 2008 Oliver Stone film. Clue number 3. Frequently connected to Daryl Hammond.
Evan.
For the win, Evan.
Dana Carvey.
And
That would have been
That
really
was
fun.
great.
Would've been great.
I can't tell you how much I wish the answer was that. But that is incorrect. Clue number 4. Connected to Christian Bale. Clue number 5. Famously connected to a quail hunt.
Matt,
Aldi.
Matthew.
Don Cheney. Dick Cheney. Damn it, Dick
Oh.
Cheney.
Yeah,
Fuck.
go-
Scott?
Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney
Sorry, man.
is correct.
Dang.
That's my Canadianism again,
Dang.
right? But I had
Don
to. Damn
Cheney
it.
for the win.
I blew it. I had it and I blew it. It was mine to take.
Don Cheney.
I had Don Cheadle sitting on my list, and I was like, "Is that Don Cheadle? Is that?" And then you said it, and I was like, "Son of
Buck Swope. If it was on my list,
a."
Buck Swope.
God.
Buck Swope,
damn.
baby. Buck Swope.
Man.
Wow.
We need another PTA movie.
Pins and needles.
Another what?
Paul Thomas Anderson movie. PTA.
What are his movies?
Boogie Nights, Magnolia.
Made some good
Well, didn't he just have? He had. Well, I mean,
Did he do something recently that I'm just forgetting?
well, no, he had. He had that one that I was like, that Licorice Pizza in 2021,
Yeah, I didn't like that movie.
and I wanted that to be so much better than it
I
was.
wanted it to be better too. I really did because it's like my era.
Yeah, and I
Fair
thought that. I mean, it had a fantastic trailer. I mean, that trailer
Yeah.
made me go, "Oh, this is gonna be amazing."
Oh yeah, you're like this is gonna be rock solid.
I mean, look at this. Look at this shit that he made.
Yeah,
Hard
that
Eight. I mean, Hard Eight is great. If you've never seen Hard Eight, go watch Hard Eight. It's just great. And then he
That's
took Hard Eight, and everybody
John
was
C.
just kind
Riley
of,
movie with he's a gambler.
yeah. That's well, and there's the one guy is I can't think of the actor's name right now, but he's like the hard boiled
Yeah.
gambler,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like you know, and he's trying to teach John C. Riley and Gwyneth Paltrow, Philip Baker Hall is the and if you don't know who he is, if you see him, you're like, oh that guy. He's an that guy actor. So he had Hard Eight, which was great, but it was kind of a cult classic.
Good night, folks.
Good night, Matthew.
All
Thanks
right,
for showing up,
thanks,
man.
Good game, Lance. Good questions.
Good game, brother. And then he knocked it out of the park with Boogie Nights the next year. Just crushed it with Boogie Nights. And then he crushed it again with Magnolia 2 years
Yeah.
later.
It took me a while to appreciate Magnolia.
I mean, it can be kind of a rough watch, but I mean, it's
Yes.
but yeah, it's good stuff. And then Punch Drunk Love in 2002,
Oh yeah.
which is great. There Will Be Blood 5 years later. He did for There Will Be Blood, which is just, I was mesmerized
Yes,
watching.
yes.
Yeah, that was just mesmerized the entire time. I'm finished. You know. And then The Master, which was kind of a tough watch as well, but it was really, really good. It's yeah. And then Inherent Vice, which was
Never saw it.
hilarious. Oh, you gotta watch it. I mean, it's just it's hilarious. It's so good. And then Phantom Thread was like the first one that he did that I was just kind of like, okay.
I really like Phantom Thread.
Yeah, I was like, I get where you're going with
It's a
this,
weird,
but
it's a weird story.
yeah, this wasn't for me though. And then Licorice Pizza,
Licorice Pizza was fun for me.
yeah, and I
Although
was just
like the
like,
part where they like blood.
yeah,
Barbara Streisand's house.
yeah.
Just like
But yeah, one
Bradley
battle
Cooper is
after.
pretty good in that movie.
One Battle After Another is his next movie. It's coming
One
out.
battle after another. Okay.
Getting released in September of 2025. It's an upcoming black comedy film written, directed, and produced by Paul Thomas Anderson. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, Sean Penn, Elena Haim, Teyana Taylor, Wood Harris, and Benicio del Toro.
Man,
He is 1 year younger than me.
Benicio.
No, Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh,
How dare he be so successful?
I know.
Yeah, no. He is June 26th, 1970.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can still catch up. He's a little older than me. I can still catch up to him. I just need to I just need to win the lottery and direct 12 movies. That's all
Yeah, he's got some bangers, man.
I got to direct 12 bangers. You know, that's what I need
Yeah.
to do. I'm sure
got
I'll
this.
pull it off.
I-
Yeah.
The Phantom Thread is so good though. I really liked it. I don't know. I know it's not I know it wasn't really that popular or anything, but
No, I mean it was kind of like
it's an odd movie.
you know so the I think the guy might be if news came out that said that the guy was like a piece of shit, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. But Shane Black, the guy who directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang,
Iron Man.
which is such a good movie. I can watch that movie. It's hilarious.
We have discussed this. I have not watched that movie.
Oh, you gotta watch. And then The Nice Guys, which is also just like
Russell Crowe one, right?
Russell Crowe and Ryan
Good
Gosling.
looking guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Predator. He was in Predator.
Well, yeah. I mean, they gave him that role so he'd rewrite the script. They basically said we'll give you a job as an actor in the movie if you punch up the script between scenes. So they got him for double duty, and that's why he was in that
Last Action Hero director.
Well, no, he wrote The Last Action Hero.
Oh yeah, him and Dave Arnott.
Yeah, but he directed Iron Man 3, which was kind of okay, but
I was hoping Dave would get on Iron Man 3.
Yeah. No, I remember he's got a new one coming up. It's called Play Dirty, starring let's see here. It's an upcoming American crime directed by Shane Black, starring Mark Wahlberg. Oh my God, he's starring as Parker. Remember that movie with Mel Gibson, Payback?
Yes.
So that's that's based off a novel by a Parker novel. A Parker is like the badass crime guy or whatever. So he's remaking. Oh wow. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch this. Yeah, I'm gonna absolutely have to watch this movie. But yeah, a thief gets shot at a major heist where he must outsmart a South American dictator, the New York Bomb, and the world's richest man. That'll be good. That'll be very good. Looking forward to that. But yeah, like The Nice Guys and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So, oh man, yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's great, just really good, really good. Anyway.
Got another grievance.
Go for it.
I got another jury summons.
Oh no.
I'm so jealous.
I think it's my 6th or 7th time going to jury duty.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
I've lost count. I literally can't even track it all now. I'm like,
It's because they know you'll go.
I know. Do most people just not go?
Yeah, I think so.
Most people just don't go.
Isn't that illegal?
Yeah, but
If they want to go through the trouble of
yeah, I mean,
doing
like
a bench
you'll
warrant,
probably have like a warrant on your name. As you get pulled over, you might get arrested or something. But like, well, I don't
they're
know.
not gonna. They're not gonna send.
Have
a
you known
deputy
anyone
to your
ever to get
house.
arrested for missing jury duty?
No.
No.
I just assume people go to it because I've always wanted to go to jury duty.
Well, it's because you don't have a job.
Move to a bigger city. We get.
I mean,
called.
I don't mean
Even
to
when
be
I had
mean.
a job, I wanted to go to jury duty. Thank you very
Well, it's
much. I
because-
did work
because-
for a decade before I stopped working.
Well, but
Anyway,
but,
so let's get jury duty. Yeah. Anyway,
My
it's
point-
during the gathering, so I gotta call and get it rescheduled.
when I worked at US Bank, I got jury duty like twice, and it was sweet because US Bank had it in their like whatever their employee contract was, they paid you in full for the days that you missed for jury duty, and you didn't have to be there. So I was like, and like both times I got jury duty, I got picked, and both of them ended up being like 3-week trials. It was just like I was there,
That'll be a
and
nightmare.
so I was getting paid, you know, and in North Dakota, the jury duty was actually like it wasn't like a ton of money, but they were paying you like, you know, $80 a day to be there. So it was
Nice.
like, yeah, it was ridiculous. So it was just
Got like
like,
$8 a day. What are you talking about? 80.
yeah, and so then it
Did
was just
you
like, and
misread it
they
as 0?
well, no, because seriously, because it was like, where do you live? And they're like, and then they gave you, it was like it was some ridiculous thing where it was like depending upon how much you had to drive to get there, and because I lived like way south of town and the courthouse is
Yes,
downtown, it was like a, you know, about a 20-minute drive to get to the courthouse, and they were like, okay, well that's $30 plus the $50 plus your $10, you know, per diem because you got to eat when you're here. They didn't buy you food, so you had to go buy food. So it was like. So yeah, like a 2-3 week trial. And I was getting paid in full by US Bank and also making just going and having to sit while they're arguing about some civil suit where some some insurance company didn't want to pay some lady for the phantom pains that she had in her foot. You know, she's like, "Oh, my foot hurts still after the car accident." And they're like, "Well, you know, all these x-rays and every single test we've done shows that there's nothing wrong with it. You know, how much are we going to pay
So
them?
how
You know,
much
that kind of thing.
how did you find?
I remember um, when we got into the,
I mean, I would stick it to the insurance company every time if I was on that side of the thing.
well, so this was when I was like, you know,
I should say that when I'm at the when I'm in the
I was in my, I was, what do I was in my like, so I was, I'm not, I mean, this is weird. So like I was like what, 26, 27, you know, around that age. And so I was, you know, whatever. Um, and it was just like, it was one of those things where it was like, they didn't really, they didn't really hammer on the woman. She was like in her 50s or something like that. And she like, but, you know, and she just wanted a bunch of money for whatever, and she was driving like some old beat up van and then the beat up van got like destroyed, but the beat up van was worth like $800 or whatever, and it just, I mean, it seemed fishy, like, you know, and then also it was like one of those things too where like the other person that was driving the car, it
Was
was
it like a
just, it was
neck
a
brace
weird
kind of-
thing. It was a weird thing because it was like a merging traffic situation and the the way that it merged, like the one car wouldn't let the van get all the way over, and so they ended up like hopping on off the road into the curb and ran over a fire hydrant, and you know, just like ended up totaling the van. And it was one of those things where it's like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, like you suffered X, Y, and Z like at the scene of the thing where she like because of when it braked or whatever, like she ended up like spraining her ankle or something like that. So they were willing to pay like the doctor's visit and everything like that. But then she was like, "Oh yeah, to this day, like 2 years later, my ankle still hurts from it." And then like they like all these like every single doctor said the MRI shows nothing. The, you know, like they asked her, they went through all this tests and they were like, "There's nothing physically wrong with your ankle." And so when we got back to the whole thing about like, well, what's it worth, you know, for her time and her effort or whatever. And it was like, and we deliberated for a long time trying to figure it out. And there was like me and another guy who were just like, yeah, I mean, because it just seemed fishy. And I didn't really understand. I probably, if you go in there saying, yeah, I was trying to be fair, I was like, okay, well,
I mean, was it like an inordinate amount of money, or was it just like some small
oh,
amount?
she went in there. She wanted $1 million,
Oh,
basically.
yeah, okay, forget it.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, you know, it's like my ankle's gonna hurt the rest of my life, and I should be, and like,
Can you work and can you walk and like
well,
there's extenuating things there. Like pain is just a little.
and that was like something where they were like, oh, well, what are they gonna do? And I mean, we ended up giving her money.
Half a
I
million?
forget how much it was. I mean, it was not $1 million. And I remember with the amount we gave her, she was not happy about it. Like when
Okay.
the determination came through, and I mean, it was, like 75 grand or something like that. It was just like, and I remember, this sounds horrible, but I remember I was like, so you're sitting there this whole time, and I'm doing the whole thing, and then um the defense or whatever, because like, I guess whatever it is, like the insurance company, their lawyer had like their legal aid person like helping that guy, and she was this woman, and like she looked like, she was in her, like 20s or something like that, and I remember I could see like she had this really really cool tattoo on her leg. Like I could see it the entire time where she was sitting, and I remember it, and she was good looking, and like, and after all was said and done, because like they made me the foreman of the jury, which was weird. They were like, well, who wants the job? And I was like, well, nobody else wants it, I'll take it. And they're like, you can have it. And so I had to do it. I got a phone call from her like 2 weeks after the trial, and they're like, "Hey, do you mind if I just ask you some questions as far as like, what did you think of the lawyer? What did you think of this? What did you think of like the preparedness?" And like there was just this questionnaire, this whole thing, and then she was like, she's like, "I got a question. Were you checking me out during the thing?" I was like, "What?" Yeah, I was like, "But you kept on staring at me. I kept on seeing you staring at me." And then, yeah, I ended up going on a few dates with her. Yeah. It's like, it was like one of those things where it was like, she lived up in like Grand Forks, North Dakota. And like, she's like, "Oh, next time I'm in town, you mind if I give you a call?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that's fine." So we ended up hanging out for a little bit, just all because of, what do you know? Just like, but yeah, yeah, crazy life. Just, yeah, crazy life. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it now. Not at all. Like if somebody
What?
like jury duty, I would hate to have to go now.
I'd love it. I get to ride my bike downtown, spend all day downtown.
I mean,
Yeah,
I had do one like 2 years ago or whatever for a guy who shoplifted a bag of chips, and the convenience store pressed charges because he was like habitual thief, and I had to go and like listen to um 3 days of testimony about this guy stealing a bag of chips. It's just like, why are we here for this? Just like,
how'd
were
that one
they
shake out?
well, it was chips. So this one was crazy. So he stole a bag of Funyuns or chips or something like that, and he left. And so then, as when he left, there was a bus depot or whatever that was close by. And so he was waiting on the bus to get on the bus. And then some guy who worked at the gas station but wasn't working that day walked outside and yelled at him and said, "You're no longer allowed to come in the store." And he was just wearing normal clothes. Like, and then they were like, "Oh, you know, like, yeah, that's weird." That kind of thing. Like, it was just kind of like, and so that guy was like, "F you. Who the hell are you to tell me that I can't go in the store anymore?" Because, but he didn't know the guy. So then, like, they kind of yelled back and forth for a while. And then, of course, because they're all young and stupid, the one guy, the one guy who worked at the store but didn't have his like uniform or anything, walked out and said, "Well, you got a problem with it? You got a problem with me? You got a problem with it? You got a problem with me?" And then the guy was like, "Hey, whatever, screw you. I'm waiting for the bus." And then that guy kept on yelling at him and yelling at him because he's a dumb kid. And then eventually, like, he yelled at him enough that when he turned around to go back in the store, the guy ran up and tackled him, and then they got into a fight. in the parking lot of the freaking gas station because they over this bag of chips that they. So he was arrested for stealing the bag of chips and for the altercation outside. And the thing that was crazy was that like it was like a year later the guy sat in jail for like 9 months because he was
Ugh.
because he had no money for bail or anything, so he sat in jail for 9 months awaiting trial. He finally gets his day in court, and the prosecution has trouble tracking down the kid that got into the fight with him. They couldn't track down the employees that were working that night anymore because they no longer worked at the gas station anymore. So they had all this like, well, we have all this transcripts of all these things that were said and done, but we don't have anybody to corroborate it. And then like, so they were just reading off the transcripts for the trial. And then at one point they actually like they're like they found one person and then brought that person in, like the guy that he got into the fight with, and then they asked him all these questions or whatever, which was fine, and he answered them. And then and he's like, well, uh who else are you like, like what about the other people that were in the thing? And then it became really weird and evident that they were talking about the fact that like, oh yeah, my buddy was there, he had his car there, and we were just kind of hanging out by the car, and it's just like, well, who's this guy, oh well, that's this guy, I don't know where he lives. But then they found actually got the name of that person because under when he was under testimony he actually gave the name of that person. So the defense attorney was actually able to like search for that person, found that person, found out that they were actually working and living in town, and they went and got that person to like come and testify. It was like almost like some weird Matlock moment where they're like, we actually have found the person that can testify as to what exactly happened that evening, like surprise witness. And this guy looked so pissed off that he had to come in and testify about anything. He's like, I don't remember anything about that night. You don't remember anything about that night? I don't remember anything about that. He's like, I don't even know why I'm here. It's like, were you actually there in the parking lot of the gas station when this happened? Yeah, I was there. Well, you do remember that then? Well, I don't remember anything else. That's the only thing I remember. It's just the most ridiculous thing ever. And then they were just like, it was one of those things where when we got into the deliberation, it was just everybody was just like, this is stupid. We just spent 3.5 days over a bag of chips, and we all agreed not guilty like within like an hour. We all agreed. You're just like, it's like because you're just like, who cares? And
But that's
then,
a year of that guy's life.
well, yeah, it was like because he was I mean, unhoused, as you would say, and like I mean, he basically because he couldn't afford any kind of bail, he just had to wait for. It was like we all agreed, he's done his time already. He's been sitting in a freaking cell in the Cass County Jail for like the last almost year waiting for this. Let's just let him go home over this bag of chips that he was hungry because he was hungry. He was like, "What?" He testified. He's like, "Yeah, this is what happened," And he's just like, and he said he got jumped by three guys, and that's why he was just yelling at him, and then the three guys jumped him. He said he didn't attack him, and he's like, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have stolen the chips, but I didn't. I only had enough money for a bus ride back to the shelter, and I was hungry, and I shouldn't have taken the chips. But what else was I supposed to do? And you're just kind of like, yeah, what else? I don't know. That was probably my least favorite time of jury duty because that was back when I was, and that was when I've been working for Gray Fox, and it was just like, and Shane was just like, I don't care if you have jury duty, get your shit done. You're my only employee. Nobody was doing it for me, so I had to go to jury duty for 8 hours, then come home and do my normal work every day. So that kind of sucked.
This will
So
be the fourth courtroom I've been to in Dallas.
Jeez.
There's
pretty sweet.
There's a civil, there's a criminal, and there's a what was the last one I went to? It was like a like traffic tickets and stuff. I forget what that's called. And then this one's a justice of the peace courthouse.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, what? I asked Michelle, like, what happens at this courthouse? She's like, well, like eviction tenant or tenant evictions and stuff like that. I'm like, there's jury trials for this stuff. It's weird. I'm like, just like I've also been into the federal, so it'll actually be the fifth courtroom. It's
Well, there
unreal.
you go. And never
rounds.
because you were summoned to.
No, all summoned. What do you mean?
Well, no, not because you
Oh.
were on trial.
Oh yeah, it was not on trial. No. It's called summons though.
I
A little caveat to the never mind. I'm done. Done complaining.
every single time that I've ever gone in for for jury duty, after the judge has gone through their like process of like, this is my jury instructions, every single time, at least one person, in one case it was two, somebody raised their hands and said, "Judge, can I go?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can go." And every single, because they were a police officer. It was just like, and every
Officer.
single time the judges explained, "That's officer so and so, so and so." You know, it's like, we can't have them serve on a jury, kind of thing. But I was just like, that guy, when does that guy get to go? You know, it's just like, he's like, "Can I go?" "Yeah, you can go." "Can I go?" "You sit down." And then during the last jury duty thing, he did, there was one guy that when they were asking questions or whatever, like, and the judge was just kind of totally completely zoned out, and he was just like, yeah, and he was just kind of staring as they're going through all the jury questions or whatever, the voir dire or whatever they call it. And they got to this one guy as they're asking him, and he said, he's like, "Well, is there any reason why you think you wouldn't be good to be on this jury?" And he said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, what's that?" He's like, "Well, um, I have come to realize in 60 years of life that our court system and police force are completely 100% and totally corrupt, and they use their powers to destroy my life and destroy the lives of all free-born citizens of this country. And they seek to do nothing but make our lives miserable, take our money, and take away our liberties every single day." And the judge just he said, I'm sorry." I was like, "Could you repeat that?" "Yes, I can repeat that, Judge. You belong to a system of corrupt people that you yourself partake in." And he goes, "Can you see any situation where you'd be able to be impartial?" And you say, "No, not at all. This is a corrupt system, a corrupt building, and you are corrupt. He's corrupt. The police are corrupt. And I would just vote anybody innocent because they're obviously being jailed here." "Okay, you can go." It's just like, it was just like, I was waiting for him to be grabbed by somebody as he left the room. You know, just, "Get him!"
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. I mean, I was just like, that'll work, you know. I mean, yeah, just, and he got to go home. And he got paid for his time and his mileage for being there. But yeah, no. No, I mean, I remember the judge like saying, "I really, you know, it's like, this is a great service that you're giving us by being." But I think what I think, like, in Minnesota, you know, like, I live in a small enough town where if like you don't show up for jury duty, they'll come and find you. And there's enough sheriff's deputies that have nothing better to do that they'll say, "Go to this guy's place of work and say." Whereas you're in Dallas, I'm sure they're just like, "Who cares?" You know, it's just like, you know,
I mean, I've never done anything
put
like
a
that.
bench warrant out for them, and if they ever get pulled over, we'll just haul them in and fine them $500. You know, and
Yeah.
you know.
I never just don't show up. I just like follow the link and go on and say why I shouldn't be there. And they're always like,
What do you
okay.
say?
I say,
I don't wanna.
There's
No,
no
I say
real reasons.
basically it's a financial hardship for my family.
Sure.
You know, I have a daughter and
Yeah.
my income
If
is
you're the
necessary.
caregiver of a person, I can't.
Yeah. And they're like, okay.
I have no excuses. Although I did I did get summoned to a grand jury, and I asked for an excuse. That was back when I was going through more health stuff. I
Yeah.
basically some health problems.
I mean, I think that's a legit excuse.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got stuff I got to deal with, man.
I mean, grand jury's like 3 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, can you
It's twice a
imagine?
week. It's twice a week for
Yeah.
3 months. I'm like 3 or 4 months, something like that. I'm like,
No.
I can't do that.
I mean, who could do that unless you're
Retired
like
people can do that.
retired? Yeah.
My
that's-
stepfather did it.
Right.
He did it for a year.
Wow.
Yeah. Once a week for a year.
Sounds awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I just I can't even imagine. Like, just twice a week for a year.
Yeah.
That's your life.
It sounds interesting, but you like
It does sound interesting,
it's
but
not
I mean,
conducive to like living your life.
there was a case, a murder case up here several years ago, where it went because of the circumstances of it, because it was a horrible crime. Um, the they wanted to try it in federal court so they could give the person the death penalty instead of, and I had a friend who made it through the first whatever voir dire or whatever. He made it through the first section of, like, when they're choosing. They had a jury pool of like 800 people that they were going through, and he made it through the first bracket where they got rid of like 600, and then he didn't make it through the next one. But that trial took forever. Like, if you had been a jury on that, that was like, yeah, and like, it was like, because of the fact that it was so public and like it was in the news every single day for the area, like, you were sequestered, you were no TV, no phone, no, all your, yeah, I mean, it was just no newspapers, nothing. You are watching the same VHS movies over and over again, and the other 12, the other whatever, they had 2 or 3 alternates or whatever. I always thought the alternate to the jury was like, that's the biggest screw job, where it's like, because you always get, like, I think for like both Albany there was at least one alternate where you get to show up every single day and sit in the jury box, but in the end,
And then you get to leave at the end.
and you just get to leave.
Just walk out.
You don't have to do anything. But
The very first jury I ever served on, there was a guy that was part of that. He was just like, okay, see you guys later. That was a assault with a deadly weapon.
yeah.
I think I would have a different take on that one if I was a more jaded outlook on life these days than I did back when I was 18.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess what's the other thing we can do? I mean, I if you follow what's going on in the world right now, you'll just get more depressed anyway. So you're probably better off just like,
Yeah.
maybe a nice long 9-month sequester.
Yeah,
just,
maybe
just what the doctor
week.
ordered. Yeah, just
I have another grievance.
Oh no.
Do you guys remember when I told you about I filed that request for to get a report that I'm an American-based company paying taxes in America? Do you remember?
Yes, vaguely.
I was supposed to get the response for that, I think 15 days ago now. I filed for it in December of 2024.
Oh my gosh.
And I got a letter well over 30 days ago. And I think it's like 45 days now. saying I would get a response within 30 days, and it's now been 45 days. This is the IRS, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I call them? Like, what do I do? Like, I got to get this letter. I need it for foreign companies that pay me. So it's just frustrating. Like, this seems like such a minor thing to get. Like, this should be electronic. I should be able to print this out on my own.
It is. Those things are so slow, and it takes forever.
I know, but
Yeah.
like to send me a letter and pay $1 of postage or whatever,
Right.
not $1, but like close to $1, right?
We're working on
To
it.
say, hey, we're working on it.
We'd like to appreciate you for your.
By the way, there was a
patience
typo
this
in the
time.
my EIN on the
Oh
paper,
gosh.
but in the corner it was correct. Like, so it was like a paper, like it was a printed page, like a,
Wow.
like a electronic print. But and it had my EIN. You know what EIN is?
Yeah.
It's like basically your social security number for a company. And it was it was typoed, and I'm like, okay, but in the corner it was correct, and I'm just
crazy.
wondering, is it typoed now? And I'll never
Yeah.
get. I'm just like, what the fuck? I mean, I guess I could try to request it again, but you have to pay like almost $200 to get this paper. It's like it's frustrating. Like, what the fuck? Another grievance. There you go. Fourth grievance of the night. Feel like it just keep going on and on.
Gosh, I have a grievance, but it's too crazy. It's too. It'll just bring
You have to
everybody
share
down.
it now.
Yeah, it'll just bring everybody down. I'll do it after. It's
Okay.
it's too much. It's too sad.
All right.
/ angry making.
No, I was going to call this one short pretty quick anyway, because I am
Yeah.
exhausted and I've got a bunch of work to do tomorrow as we go through the last hours. Go back, Champions, be good.
For the Board Game Geek art prints project.
Board Game Geek, go. Do you have a page where people can go
I
and
do.
like?
Yeah, I do have a page. I mean, I think you could just search for it though.
Yeah. Art prints, baby.
Right, you need art for your wall.
I'm running out of walls. Hello, walls. How things go for you.
Can you search for projects that are in
today.
preview?
What now?
So bad.
Can you
at that.
search for projects that are in preview?
I mean, I'm sure you have a link on your.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll pop up.
Yeah, ask our resident
It's not
whatchamadick.
popping up. It's not becoming.
Is it live where people can
No, it's not
access
live.
it? Like,
It's not
Oh.
live. I mean, the preview page is live. Does that make
yeah, where
sense?
people can sign up to get emailed day one. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should be able to find it. In theory.
I can't find it,
So bad at
but I've
that
got.
stuff.
There's a link. It's on. Have I posted on BGG yet? I don't know if it's posted on BGG yet. We just talked about. We just launched
It exists. You can't find it.
It exists.
If you're friends with me on Facebook, you'll see it. I posted on my Facebook page. It's also on Blue Sky. If you go to Blue
Bluesky.
Sky, look at the Board Game Geek. Blue Sky, it's there.
Perfect.
So if you care to preview, go to the preview page.
All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure you leave your comments and your yeah. So remember, I asked
Oh, yeah,
for
you can
those
search for it.
people.
Board Game Geek Artist Series. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're fine. I asked last week, hey, post comments on the thing, and so many people
Anybody
did.
post anything?
So lots of people did. So, so I thought that was cool.
We need
So keep
questions
doing
or
that.
something.
I appreciate that.
Give us some.
The password to prove that you watched the whole thing. Forrest, give me a weird word.
Aardvark.
Aardvark. Password's Aardvark. That's how I know you watched the whole episode when you leave your comments. So
Now people are just gonna skip to the end.
yeah, well maybe.
Nobody else gets it.
No,
Well,
maybe.
We'll say
I mean, if you-
Aardvark a bunch, and it'll be obvious.
If you watch to the end to listen to that you asked for comments, then you probably listen to the word too.
Aardvark.
Odd bark. But yes, you did post, Kabuki. Thank you so much. All right, good night, everybody.
Good
And
night.
then
Are we
we'll hang
hanging
out
around
and
for a
listen
talk?
because I want
I'll
to.
post
Apparently, I want to be
Boom.
sad. Apparently, I
wanna
want to
be
be sad.
sad.
So just
Sad